This is bad.
Make sure my audio's good.
Just finished 16 years of broadcast excellence. Now in our 17th year. The Dave Weinbaum Show is streaming live all over the world. Democrats have fallen, and they can't get up. They keep pushing that button, and all they get for an answer is Obama telling them how evil white MAGAs are, and they must be destroyed. Hillary just told the fallen party, all whites with certain ideas, like MAGAs, must be stopped from their mission, one of which was making elections clean again. All they get in response are Bernie the oligarch, Killer Pocahontas, the pretend Native American who took advantage of that to make a lot of money, Kamala, the worst example of DEI since Bud Light pushed the button to show a transgender telling all men what to drink and think. Supreme Court Judge Jackson, who couldn't answer the question Charlie asked many, what is a woman? To college PhD professors that Charlie interviewed, who were booed out by the young students listening live and up close. They were taught and had thoroughly bought in to what Kirk and Trump said. There has always been two genders and no more. Do you wonder how Democrats like Hakeem Jeffries, Crockett, Tampon Tim think their alarm receptors from the button pushed aren't being listened to is a man who they made the mistake of trying to kill politically, lawfully, assassinating over 10 years Donald Trump. Their only hopes are idiots, more idiots in the Democratic Party or communists. AOC, Mondami, and Newsom. Now, if old Joe could get back that auto pen, well, that'll do it. Next week, does anyone know what a baby is? And by the way, Schumer should retire to a new country because he's going to be wanted for some crimes. And I would suggest that he not try Israel. And you know who the new leader of the Democratic Party is now? The only guy that makes sense there? John Fetterman.
Of course, it didn't end there. Here's MSNBC's Rosa Flores.
We've also seen the very dramatic videos of ICE nabbing individuals and tossing them into unmarked vehicles. A lot of these ICE agents have been masked, and so it has been very divisive. And there's been a lot of fear in the different communities where we've been reporting.
So I guess the agents had it coming. It's the old look how the rape victim was dressed routine. She's telling them not to wear masks while they're being shot at. This stuff is sanctioned, even by the party's leaders. Here's Gavin Newsom, a governor who runs his state like a college sophomore smoking his first joint.
Masked men jumping out of unmarked cars, people disappearing, no due process, no oversight, zero accountability happening in the United States of America today. People ask, well, is authoritarianism, you're being hyperbolic?
Hi, and welcome to the Dave Weinbaum Show. I'm here with J.P. Maxwell, my producer. Hi, J.P.
Good morning, everybody.
My lovely bride, Lisa Ann Weinbaum, who was very early today.
Yeah. Pretty weird.
That's the earliest time I've ever seen you get to the show.
I don't like this early club.
Neither do I. We're trying to get ready with the show, and you're telling him, you're giving him stuff to do. All right. Anyways, we have also Rick Henderson out there in Salem, Missouri. He does all the bits and the clips. Hi, Rick and Bev. We got a great show for you today. We got great guests. J.J. Bradshaw will be up first. Rabbi Moshe from Israel. Big things going on there. He'll be up next, 8:40. Don Mayhew, 9:15, running for Senate here in Missouri. Pat and Mark McCluskey, 10 o'clock. And Jeff and Stephanie Zink at 10:30. Last couple days, I had Rosh Hashanah. We all had Rosh Hashanah a couple days ago, and sure enough, and that's the Jewish New Year. And we celebrated Yom Kippur, where we forgive each other and we ask for God to forgive us for our sins, and we fast. And I'll tell you what, late last night, it wasn't that late, really. It was about 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
I stuffed a couple of cheeseburgers down my throat, which is also like a sin. I'm not supposed to mix meat and cheese. So I started off the year with kind of a bad thing, but I did forgive some people, and my wife and I had a good night last night, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Yes, it was very loving. And she made those cheeseburgers, and she's eating her share of it right now. You did not fast, did you?
I did not. I am not Jewish, nor observant, nor kosher. And you aren't kosher either, so you're fine to eat a cheeseburger.
Yeah, I know. No, it's not. It's not really. It's something.
Cheeseburgers. Do
I
not discriminate against cheeseburgers.
I'm not discriminating against cheeseburgers. It's just that I'm not supposed to do it, and I'm doing it, and I feel guilty about it. And if who doesn't feel guilty anytime in their life? I just like to think that I'm doing more good than bad, and more good about really important things. And God might send me to hell because He disagrees with me. Well, it's a chance I take, and I hope that doesn't happen. I hope if he has things that I should have done better, that He'll tell me that while I'm alive, and hopefully He'll contact me when I'm dead. Okay, which is coming up, by the way. I'm going to be 77 in November the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, I really appreciate all the people that I know. I'm kind of a pest about it. My son doesn't know if it does any good or not, but I contact a lot of people, mainly on Facebook and Twitter and other avenues like YouTube and maybe TikTok now. Maybe TikTok is back. I'm not sure exactly. But the story is that we bought TikTok, and I'm not sure, about it. But I think the stuff that I send out, and I'm very grateful that a lot of people, some of whom are stars on the show, some of whom have been on the show, some of whom will want to be on the show. I got great guests coming up next week too, and I haven't even gotten to that yet. So we're already have kind of a head start. When does the clock get turned back? or forward? Is it forward?
We will be falling back for fall, and it should be coming up here in the coming weeks. It's either October or early part of November. It's
Yeah, I got to figure
right
this out with the
corner here.
rabbi, because my next guest is the opening act, and he gracefully will let the rabbi sub for him, and his pretty little picture is on there. He's in a car or something. I hope it's not a car that's been stopped by a police officer, but I doubt that. This man is 257 years old. He's going to at a shooting contest, and he is obviously a philosophical genius on the Constitution. He used to hang out with George Washington, Ben Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, pick up pioneer girls when he was a young man, and he probably helped them write the Constitution. Please welcome, all the way from wherever he is, John Jeffrey Bradshaw.
Thank you, Dave. Can you hear me okay?
How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. I am exercising my First and Second Amendment rights this morning.
Very good.
Second Amendment rights, I am at the Cops Range in Newburgh, hosting the Missouri State Pistol Championship.
Oh, wow.
So there is the Second Amendment rights, and of course I'm on your show. I'm going to vent a little bit. So there goes the First Amendment rights. And Dave, what a week this has been.
Yeah.
You do extensive show prep. I do not, but I do a lot of reading, and man, we've been drowning in this stuff this week.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get right to it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's start out with the federal government shutdown.
Yeah.
I have thought for a number of years that our federal government performs at its peak when it is shut down. They can do the least amount of damage that way. But let's look at the why of this thing, and let's look at which side the Democrats are on. I'll give you a hint. They're on the wrong side of this thing. We had a clean continuing resolution that was forwarded by the House to the Senate, and the Senate refuses to pass it. They've got to have 60 votes, which means there has to be all of the Republicans plus 7 Democrats to vote this thing in. Now, first off, we should never, ever have a continuing resolution. Our Congress has been neglect for decades as far as budgeting is concerned. They're so far apart, so polar apart, that they can't agree on anything. So we kicked that can down the road till November, and hopefully these folks negotiate in good faith. Ain't gonna happen.
Right.
So, okay, we shut the government down. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries have been getting a lot of FaceTime lately.
Yep.
About this very thing. And let's look at the bone of contention. This continuing resolution is actually been passed by the Democrats some time back. It's the same darn thing.
Okay.
But now they're insisting on $1.6 trillion in excess spending on healthcare subsidies. And it's already been proven that those healthcare subsidies, which occurred during COVID, are no longer necessary, but so many of them go to illegals. How is that? Well, it turns out emergency rooms. Anyone can go to an emergency room and they are required to be treated. Right. Many illegals don't have a doctor. They don't have any insurance, so they go to the ER and they're treated under Medicaid. These clown Democrats want to extend that Medicaid, which was cut back during the big, beautiful bill. And they're on the wrong side of this, Dave. You and I both know they're on the wrong side.
Well, yeah, they know it too now, I think. I think they know they've screwed it up. And I think it's going to end sooner than later, because they are not winning this. They're losing.
That's absolutely right. That's the very next thing I was going to mention was who's going to be, when the finger pointing starts by the United States voting public,
right?
who are the fingers going to be pointed at?
Well, think of the cost of this to everybody. The tax breaks go out. All sorts of things are going to cost more. Inflation will go way up. It's going to be a nightmare if they actually make that kind of a deal with the Democrats. And now Trump is up there closing down agencies that are full of Democrats who are wasting money, according to Trump. And he says, "Yeah, bring it on. I can close as many of these as I want to now."
The very next thing I was going to talk about,
out of the election.
You segued right into my next. Are you reading my mind? Is there some sort of?
I think we kind of do. I think we have over the years become sort of like ambient, or like it's like we were twins, and we were separated at girth.
Yes, your girth is greater than mine.
Yeah, right.
So okay, not only are the Democrats likely to be blamed for this thing, but remember, we have midterm elections coming up, and they're coming up mighty soon.
Yep.
The Democrats are going to pay a price for this thing. You now have moderate Democrats who are trying to distance themselves from this debacle, and they're having a hell of a time doing it because of the very vocal Jeffries and Schumer, who won't let this thing die a quiet death. It gets even worse than that. Donald Trump is advised by some pretty smart people, and the Democrats walk right smack dab into the middle of this. This gives Trump the excuse to lay off permanently a whole bunch of federales.
Yeah.
This is something he would not have gotten done had the Democrats not shut this thing down. Surely someone in the Democrat Party has said, boys, you really need to take a hard look at this thing because you're committing political suicide here. And Jeffries and Schumer are all over this thing. They've dug their heels in. It is political suicide. There's even talk of Schumer being primaried. Oh, boy, I hope that happens. I sure hope that happens.
Yeah. Well, the person that might deprive him of his job and convince him to go, of course, he wants to go to, he might want to go to Israel because he might be coming up with some charges, and Israel ain't going to take him.
I was going to say, they don't want him.
It's going to get refused by Israel. And so AOC says, yeah, I'll talk to him. Let me talk to them. Guess what she wants to be? The new president.
Well, can you believe that AOC actually thinks she's got a shot at this thing?
Yeah.
All you have to do is listen to this girl for more than 5 minutes, and you realize she's an empty pantsuit. There's nothing there.
She sounds good at the beginning, and then she's got nothing.
Yeah, it's not quite as bad as the word salad that.
It's not Kamala. Kamala is she has nothing worth listening to. AOC can at least entertain for a minute or two, but then it's over.
She can go for maybe 5 minutes, but if you put her in a debate that lasts an hour, ain't going to happen. Trump will plaster over her in a heartbeat.
Oh, sure.
All right, let's talk about Pete Hegseth and the generals. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of high-ranking generals, admirals, etc., that got called into the principal's office, and Pete Hegseth had a little talk with him. Now, this could have been done by email, so this is really not him talking to the generals. It's him talking to the entire military, and what he said was this.
And the country.
If you can't pass a PT, physical training, then you need to get out and apply for your honorable discharge, and we will grant it, and you will be gone. You need to be as fit as your soldiers are. You need to get rid of DEI and all of this homosexual garbage that has been shoved in the military's throat. I know a bunch of military guys, active duty and reserve. They don't want any part of that crap. They see how badly our military has gone downhill as a result of this. Do you want to be standing next to a guy that thinks he's a girl in combat? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, Hegseth, he really did tell him how the cow ate the cabbage in this thing. It was televised, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a political event, no doubt in my mind, but it did accomplish what he set out to do, and that is the military man on the street, the average old enlisted E4, E5 guy, now recognizes that we have a commander-in-chief and a head of the Department of War that are actually serious about this stuff.
Yep.
The average military guy is pretty serious about this stuff. It's his assets on the line. So
sure,
this did well. If you compare this to the Obama time and the Biden time, where you had DEI being pushed, you had men and women's locker rooms, et cetera, et cetera. We all know the litany. Hegseth said, not going to happen anymore, boys. If you're one that supports that, you might as well get out now because we really don't want you. Good job.
Same thing is happening in the FBI too. You know, they're telling him, look, you got to have certain amount of ability to lift things, to do pull-ups, and some crazy Democrat woman is screaming at him. How's that going to do anything? It says we train people that have to go out with guns, sometimes heavy guns, and get people that are breaking the law. If you can't do one pull-up, then you're not of any use to us.
What are you going to do? Write them a strongly worded letter? Send a social worker? I mean, come on.
Want to do this. McDonald, he wants to get rid of the police force and call them like trouble fixers or something. Like something psychologist.
These people will end up getting killed almost immediately, and then somebody will decide that was a pretty bad idea.
We've been through this. We get it. Don't we get it now? By now, this doesn't work.
Well, you and I get it.
Well,
Here's
they get
another one for you. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, go ahead. I know it's getting pretty heavy in here, but go ahead.
I read this and couldn't believe it. So I went to a second source, and by golly, this is real. There have been 125 plus commercial and private vehicles stopped by the Highway Patrol and others, and the driver's license of the people driving these rigs had no name given on the license. No name given.
Well, gee,
now, if this was one driver's license office in one state, I could get it. But these were licenses from New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and California. Almost all of these were Sikh foreign drivers.
Right.
No name given.
So did they get to use that as a voting device for identity?
Well,
they'll say, yeah, you can vote.
Who the hell thought this was a good idea?
People that believe that they can invade this country with aliens, unlegal aliens, and switch the votes and switch their votes and give them all these identities. They're all screaming about this, and all they did was try to steal it because under the Clintons, for example. They all said we're going to get rid of anybody that's here that illegally. They all stood up and said it, all the Democrats. Suddenly that changed during the Biden years. Why would that be? They figured out something. If we can't win on our own, we're going to have to import other countries' people and give them a lot of money, put them up in hotels, feed them, give them IDs, and make sure they vote Democrat.
Yeah. Oh, let's give them health insurance, by the way.
Oh, that too. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Let's register them to vote.
You could list all the great things they were doing for them, and a lot of these people were out there killing our people, raping our women, even trafficking our children. And
Yeah.
here we go. Here we go. It's just, and so this is where the fight is, and people know this now. People get it.
Yeah.
Not a
Well,
mystery.
you and I have gotten it for a good long while now. We've been griping
That's
about
why we're
this
here.
forever.
We're an early warning device, both of us, and we're
Yeah,
both.
we're considered right-wing lunatics, Dave. What are we, conspiracy theorists? Surprisingly, the conspiracies that we had have all come true.
That's right.
I
I go back and look at some of my columns from 10, 15 years ago, and I was dead on. You know?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Gaza for just a minute.
Yes.
You know that Trump and Bibi Netanyahu have had many, many, many conversations off the books, behind closed doors. You know they're talking all the time, and it's not released publicly. But what Trump did, and Netanyahu at least publicly endorsed this, is came up with a 20-step plan to disarm Gaza. We both know that negotiations with Hamas will never live up to what they agreed to, never, ever. So Trump said publicly the other day, we'll give them 3 or 4 or 5 days, think about this, see what they would like to do. If they choose to not give us the hostages, if they choose to continue to be armed, if they choose not to lay down their arms and surrender, then we will turn the full force of the Israeli army loose on them, and we're not going to fool around anymore with them. Good. You know, this is so refreshing because in the past, particularly the Biden administration, and let's not forget the disgusting Obama administration, where Israel was considered a stepchild in the Middle East. We treated them badly. We always expected them to come to the center, even though their opponents were nowhere near the center. It's so refreshing to have a commander-in-chief that says, look, no more BS.
This is how they negotiate. Put that picture up of, there it is. Yeah, here it is. Thank you. That was quick. Demands, here's from the river to the sea, what that means. Demands, death to all. Could you at least meet them halfway? Okay, in other words, kill half the Jews, and the Jews should be happy with that. This is how crazy they are, and we can't abide by that. Okay, thank you. Great job.
That's pretty much it in a nutshell, isn't it? Hamas, and let's not forget the Palestinian Authority. You know, everybody talks about Hamas, and they're a bunch of nutcases. But the Palestinian Authority, the so-called two-state solution, which is no solution at all, but the two-state solution assumes that the Palestinian Authority will negotiate in good faith, will not support Hamas, will actually support the Palestinian civilians, and we all know that's a crock. It's been a crock for decades. And finally, I think we're getting something done on this that may end up being peace in the Middle East. Let's forget the Abraham Accords.
But I don't see Hamas actually closing the deal. Now the Egyptians, in today's JP, Jerusalem Post, are said to have been pushing Hamas to signing on, but Hamas is like they're trying to lengthen this thing. They want to negotiate. And this, can you imagine Japan negotiating after the 2 atomic bombs were dropped? Well, we're not sure. We want to negotiate.
It took them 1 day.
Exactly. You give them 1 day, and that's it. Give them 1 or 2 days, and that's it. You're done.
Yeah, Trump was a very kind man. He gave him 4 or 5 days.
Take care of what you need to take care of.
The point is, him and Bibi Netanyahu both know that this is a bunch of bull. It's simply a delaying tactic by Hamas. That's all they have ever done. And people like you and me keep asking, okay, when is this going to end? When will Israel have enough of this? When will the United States have enough
I'll
of this?
be asking this to the rabbi in about 11 minutes.
I'm looking forward to hearing.
Are you no longer a wartime rabbi? Are we a peacetime rabbi now, maybe?
No, I think we're still a wartime rabbi. I got one left for you, Dave. We're
Go
up
ahead,
against
buddy.
the clock here.
Yep.
And that is Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters has been a Washington joke for decades now. Just looking at her, she reminds me of a bulldog that my next door neighbor at one time had. And Maxine is known for opening her mouth without engaging her brain. And the last thing she said, she finally admitted, Democrat from California that she is, that this government shutdown, and the Democrats making a big deal out of it, is aimed towards one thing, and that is health care for all being illegal immigrants.
Right.
Let's take a look at Obamacare. You know, Maxine Waters tries to pretend that Obamacare was one of the best things to happen. And if you look at it, it's second-rate insurance that is extraordinarily expensive for what you get.
Yeah.
And she would like to extend that for free to everyone. Maxine, I never thought that you would admit that that's what you wanted, but you did in a press conference the other day. Good for you. It appears that you're somewhat lukewarm. 60 IQ is decreasing a little bit. You actually opened your mouth and said what you meant to say.
You know, and how ironic that is when a guy who has a couple of bad things happen to him mentally and physically, Fetterman, comes out and now is he's really the voice of the Democratic Party, if you're considering any sort of one of them being a serious, honest person.
Fetterman's starting to look like a Republican, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. And who would have thought of that? Who would have thought of that? This guy was bananas. Well, he was sick, and he didn't look well for the election. And well, maybe something made him smart when that happened. I don't know.
Maybe God smiled upon him and said, "You're now a Republican."
I mean, God gave him a couple strokes. It's like getting some strokes when you're golfing. You want strokes, okay? And he got a couple strokes to the head, and suddenly he's a genius.
Well, you know, he's starting to look like a Kennedy or a Kennedy Democrat, which would be identified as a Republican.
Of course, it's going to be a tough time to get him in the presidency with a hoodie and shorts.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, but he's got a lot better shot at it than AOC does.
Yeah. All right. Let me see some of these questions here, or some of these clips, because I think some of them are for the gentleman across from me, Patricia Odin Maxwell. Sounding good, looking good. Go team. Thank you.
That's not bad.
Roy Maddox, your buddy with his dog, his blue heeler, honey. Good morning from Oklahoma.
Good morning, Roy.
All righty. And anyone else? Okay. If you want to call the show, 573-578-2700, or
you can also comment and reach us on Facebook, X, YouTube, and on Rumble.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for my friend, John Jeffrey Bradshaw. Thank you. Thank you, JJ. Great appearance.
I'll be talking with you next Friday.
All right, great. I hope so. Have a fun event out there. And he is a good guy. I tell you what. And we do think alike. Is it the bald thing? I don't know. You know, I used to have hair. I say this is an option. This is not. I could grow hair. It just probably is going to be a long time before I have a full head of hair. So I'd be wearing wigs a lot. All right. You know what? We're going to take a break because we're going to be a little crowded coming into after the rabbi. So we're going to come take a break, and Rabbi's coming on in about 7 minutes. So let's get there.
Your home is your castle. You don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day. Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Honey, what are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
It looks like you're filling up a swimming pool.
Yep, I'm filling up a swimming pool.
In our living room?
How else am I going to watch the game and stay cool?
If your AC is on the fritz, call Hartley's Climate Control. Hartley's is the area's best in HVAC repairs, installs, and maintenance. Knowledgeable, honest, and dependable. Serving Rolla and the surrounding areas for commercial or residential needs. Hartley's Climate Control. Community born, community raised, community serving.
Call Hartley's Climate Control today at 573-368-3163.
Never be too coy to tell your friends and family about Koi Sushi and Hibachi. Celebrate the best Chinese-Japanese restaurant in the Midwest. Call 573-426-5551 to make a reservation or order takeout. Locally owned, 1808 North Bishop, Rolla, Missouri.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy, but also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender, all one word. But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is two words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Merrill's Quarry and Asphalt, 40 years serving cities, counties, and everyday businesses with driveways for people who live and work in our little piece of heaven right smack dab in the middle of America. Call 573-578-9101 for your free estimate of rocking, rolling, paving, driveways, sealing, and striping too. That's 573-578-9101 for your free estimate.
Your home is your castle. You don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments. That's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day. Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
At your locally owned Price Chopper, our standards are high because we know yours are. See for yourself what an incredible fresh selection of grocery items we have in store. Talk to our expert meat associates about what you're looking for. They're happy to meet any special requests like custom cuts, or see our expert produce associates on how to pick out the best fruits and vegetables. Quality in the deli means fresh, full flavor, and always delicious. If you're craving fresh baked goodness, we have that too. You can expect the best selection and the best value while interacting with our friendly and knowledgeable employees. You can find what you're looking for fast and easily at the best prices at Price Chopper. Fresh savings every day. A-Car Real Estate, where experience matters. 532 million sold since 2003, the number one sales volume in Phelps County. As a client for decades, I can say they are the best in mid-Missouri. Call 573-368-7355. That's 573-368-7355 for the best real estate experience you'll ever have. Gotta reach 'em, see it right now. Insurance going up like crazy? Daniel and Henry Insurance is one of the largest private insurance companies in the world. Richard Boyette, 314-444-5011. He's my guy at Daniel and Henry for 10 years. Business or personal, call Richard at 314-444-5011. He's the best.
At Town & Country Bank, we've got all the perks of a national bank, like online banking, quick loan approval, and you can deposit your check from your phone. But that's not why our customers love us. They love us because we still offer hometown customer service. Stop by one of our 2 Rolla locations and let our friendly team remind you how special hometown banking can be. We're locally owned and will take the time to understand your needs. Smart, friendly solutions. Town & Country Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Okay, we're back. The rabbis should be on pretty soon, and I got a few things I can talk about. We have 2.5 weeks after Charlie Kirk was murdered. They're already back to Utah. That is TP USA, Turning Point USA, with a huge show for everybody, and I think that was the rabbi trying to get on. He's working on it. Oh, okay. He said that?
Well, I can see he's not on there yet.
Yeah, okay.
He must be working with his camera trying to get it adjusted.
Okay. Well, there he is. Boy. All right. Well, you know what? We're gonna go straight to the rabbi, because he's got things to do. He's got money to collect, and he's got women to take care of. All the widows out of the IDF. Wartime rabbi. Hopefully, he's retiring soon. He buys widows of IDF and their kids homes close to one another, and they have little communities out there, and takes them to the States every once in a while. Please welcome all the way from Israel, Rabbi Moshe Rothschild. So what are all these bags behind you?
Yeah, I changed my location.
Really? Were they hounding you, or?
No, I just, something once in a while I need to change the scenery.
Did you tell anybody where you went?
Yeah, they're actually right next to me. I'm in the kitchen.
Oh, God. You had me going there for a minute or two. What's behind you, though? Are those like...
they're just, stuff hanging in the wall.
Coats. Okay, that's a great background, Rabbi. Yeah. Right.
No,
Sure.
no problem.
Say, okay, whatever turns you on. Like Hamas has a secret weapon. The secret fund from Greta Thunberg. Well. So she is out at war with Israel, apparently, and they were funding her. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Israel uncovered documents showing that Hamas funded the Greta flotilla of some 45 boats on their way to Israel, which Israel intercepted, of course. But it wasn't so innocent. In fact, Israel discovered that not one single boat had any aid for the people in Gaza.
So they were there for what reason then?
Simply to be troublemakers. They're simply to draw world attention, and I think Hamas wanted Israel to sink a few boats to kill some people.
Sure.
And they were kind of hoping for that, so it would be bad optics. They all, in advance of their departure from whatever ports they departed from, Spain, I think, they prepared videos saying that they were taken captive by the Israeli army, Israeli Navy, and they were held hostage and so on and so forth. They already prepared those in advance. But so far, it seems like Israel hasn't really gotten such bad press over this flotilla.
That kind of stuff is going on all over the world. I mean, if you saw the Trump speech just before Bibi's speech, you notice that everybody in the UN audience practically everybody ran away as soon as Netanyahu. Did you see that?
What I tell them is that when the lion comes, the hyenas run.
It's good. That's about right too. Yes, go ahead.
We had a clip that we had planned to play for Rabbi. So
okay, let's do it. Yes,
I want to make sure we definitely get that in. This is actually from the Trump and Netanyahu press conference the other day.
Okay.
It's an honor to have a very, very special person. I've dealt with him for a long time, Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel. And we had lunch together. We had meetings together, along with his very capable staff. And I think we've come up to some pretty good solutions and conclusions. And we'll be working a little bit after this. And then I assume you're going back home. This is a quick stop, in and out. But we appreciate you being here, and we are a friend of Israel, as you know. I would say that I'm by far the best president that Israel has ever even thought of seeing. And it's an honor to be so, and to be so thought of. Many friends in Israel, they are not in an easy area. It doesn't go easy, but we are helping them. And likewise, they've been helping us very much. And so we'll see how it all works out.
So, they seem to have come to a reasonable. Last week I was talking about Trump was going to demand Israel going to ask for the hostages and a ceasefire at the same time without getting the hostages, and maybe 30, 60 days out, then Israel and then there would be. Well, that's not true though, right? Remember, you were telling me that's probably something you heard, and for a change, you were right. So
now you sound like my wife.
I'm very proud of you. I actually knew that because I just set you up for that. I wanted to be nice. Yom Kippur, just a day or two ago. And I wanted to be nice to the rabbi because I know sometimes I come off as mean. So Spain is discussing arms embargo on 10/7. What is your problem with Spain? Is that now being run by Hamas as well?
Yeah, look, these are countries that took in tens of thousands of Syrian refugees. These are countries that had no policy as far as immigration is concerned, and the amount of Muslims that they allowed in, and with their high birth rate, these countries have 10, 20, 30% right now of their countries are Muslims, and massive voting blocks. And if anyone wants to stay in power in these countries, they have to cater to those populations, and it's just continuing to grow, these populations. And Europe is going to be one big Muslim. The European Union is going to be turned Muslim.
I believe that plan is not just for Europe; it's for everybody.
Oh yeah, it's for everywhere, and they realize they can do that.
Even the United States
on their side.
All right. Look at Minnesota.
All right, the policies of the U.S. With canceling everyone, and that anyone that seems to be against anything gets canceled. The policies are on their side, and time is on their side. They'll just keep biding time until their 3, 4, child per family birth rate catches up, and just smothers the local populations.
Yeah, it's been happening all over. Now you're going to have probably a admitted anti-Semite, although he did come say, "Oh, Hamas is terrible" the other day, trying to cover it up. But this guy's a miserable anti-Semite, a person that running for running for the mayorship of the most Jewish city in the country, and that's New York.
Yeah. And he's going to get a lot of Jewish votes because people are so left wing and so insane.
They had left wing.
you had Jewish parties for Hitler. If you go back to the 1930s, you'll find there were Jews who were voting for Hitler, which is,
Wow.
I mean, unthinkable. But
We could be really stupid, can't we?
yeah, yeah. For supposedly smart people, we can do some very dumb things.
Yeah.
And
So
and,
it seems to me like Hamas is likely to refuse Trump's plan. They're already trying to negotiate certain things and weapons and where Israelis should be, where Gazans should be, where they should be. So it seems like they're going to try to stall it. That's for sure.
Yeah, they already asked for a few more days, which
Yeah.
Trump gave them.
Yeah.
And look,
this is what I wrote down. I'd say no. Give them 24 hours. Sign, and they also have other demands. And I wrote something like "F them." Who
yeah,
should say
look,
that's terrible?
It's a brilliant plan. I mean, they basically backed Hamas into a corner.
Yeah.
You have the Arab countries, like Turkey and the UAE, and so are supporting this. Qatar, all they
Even
really
Egypt.
have no choice here. Even Egypt,
Even Egypt is backing it.
and yeah, so they've kind of backed them into the corner. So either you accept it, or if you don't, we're just gonna marginalize you. We're gonna stuff you guys into a 20% area of Gaza, and we're going to rule the other 80%, and we're going to let you guys kill each other.
Well, who's running the show right now? Gazans or
well, no, I mean Israel right now is Israel's controlling 75-80% of Gaza right now.
Right.
And basically if either Hamas agrees or they're just going to be shoved into a corner and marginalized. They'll have nothing. And it's crazy to me that they would turn this deal down, but I understand why they would, because they're insane. And they'd rather just fight to the death, which is what will happen.
It's like when they say from the river to the sea, and we know they mean to kill every Jew from the river to the sea, and then they want to negotiate by saying, "All right, we'll just kill half, and we should be satisfied with that."
Yeah.
So when is the Palestinian state? Where's it going to be? First of all, Israel has already refused. Other than Hamas, they can stay in Gaza apparently with Israel's supervision. But where is this Palestinian state going to be? And tell me where that Palestinian state was before allegedly we took that from them.
Like there never was. I mean, unless you consider Jordan to be a Palestinian state, but the reality is that from 1948, the founding of the state of Israel, until 1967, Jordan controlled what's called Judea and Samaria, the West Bank. They controlled half of Jerusalem, and there was no clamoring for 20 years for a Palestinian state. There was no such thing. No one asked for it because Jordan was the Palestinian state. That's where the Jordanians, the Jordanians controlled, and
Did
that's
they call themselves Palestine?
No. They called themselves Jordan, and
they were Arabs.
Yeah, exactly. And so there is a Palestinian state today. It's called Jordan.
Yeah.
And if they want to go there, I'm sure we'll be very happy to send them. Jordan won't take them, but we'll be very happy.
Why wouldn't they take them? Hey, Ken Wilhelm, loss of power for Hamas, a powerful drug they won't let go. Dave.
Yeah,
he's a good friend. Ken Wilhelm.
It's the truth is that in the Arab world, it's territory is the biggest drug. Having territory, and taking away territory is a very good strategy.
Say that again.
Taking away territory, taking away land is a very good strategy.
Well, and refuse to let them go on attacking you. If they want to stay at war, well, okay. It's ridiculous. What I want to know is this: from the JP One People. Israel must defend Jews beyond its borders. We've been talking about that for a long time, and they just killed a couple people in England,
in the UK. Yeah,
in the UK, and one of them that was killed was shot by a cop by accident, I think. But if a country won't do, would you mop that up, please? It sounded like something spilled.
Yeah. Still in aisle 4.
All right, I know how big that
aisle 4.
It's huge. Look at that. He's got people
Exactly.
that clean the aisles in his home.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Look,
Right.
the reality is what happened in the UK can
Yeah.
100% be expected. When they declare that
Right.
they recognize a Palestinian state and they allow them to basically run wild in the city whenever they want with these ridiculous rallies, they're just encouraging. And it was so obvious that something like this was going to happen. And we're fortunate that it was only 2 people killed and that they didn't make it inside the synagogue and massacre, dozens.
It was one guy in a car.
It's so
right?
obvious that these things are going to happen.
It was one guy in a car.
I think it was 2 guys. I'm not sure. They smashed it
Yeah.
into a crowd, and then they got out and started stabbing people. And
Yeah.
there were like 5 injured and 2 people killed. But when I heard about it, I was like, okay, I knew that was going to happen. It's so obvious when the UK, when their whole policies are so anti-Israel, what do they expect? What do they expect their population's going to do?
So what are your predictions here?
I think these kinds of things are going to continue to rise all around the world. And Israel will be and continue to be ultimately the safest place in the world for Jews. But I think, unfortunately, these kinds of things were at the tip of the iceberg. And that genie is not going back in the bottle anytime soon.
Yeah. Were you a little surprised at the worldwide anti-Semitism? I know you say, well, that we had a period after the Holocaust that people kind of felt sorry and bad about it, and now we're off of that, and we're somehow
we're reverting back to what's called the norm. If you have a bird's eye view and you look at the big picture of the last 2,000 years, and you would say, what is the norm? The norm is rises. The norm is anti-Semitism, Jews being killed and attacked and in huge numbers, being thrown out of countries from place to place. And that's the norm. And the Holocaust was sort of the culmination of that. The Holocaust didn't happen in a vacuum. It was a culmination of 2,000 years of anti-Semitism. And now I hate to say this because I know a lot of the listeners are not Jewish, but a lot of that was predicated, by the church, by the Catholic Church more, but even the Protestant Church with Martin Luther. And it culminated in the Holocaust. And Hitler said things, he was doing the work of the church. And what you have, look at Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's Candace Owens, and I
wanted to talk to him.
All right, and it's this insanity. It's this insanity of blaming it on Israel, blaming it on Jews. This is classical anti-Semitism, and what's happening is this is what, like I said, it's reverting back to what has been the normal of history. So that's why I say it doesn't shock me. I hate to be living with these things going on, but that's the reality. The big difference today is that we have a state of Israel. We never had that.
State of Israel. You have a great leader now that he is now, and I say this, without being in his shoes, but now that he has stopped the merry-go-round of having ceasefires and then getting attacked and then having another ceasefire back and forth for 17 or 18 times, that is not going to solve the problem. And Israel figured it out a little late, but they're on the right track now.
It's true. I'm worried that when when his term comes to an end, if the Democrats win, God forbid, the next election, or had Kamala win this, we're in a different world. I feel like Trump is holding back this enormous flood in the United States that could potentially really break down the relationship between Israel and the United States. And had the Democrats been in there now, I mean, we saw what happened with Biden. It could have been it could have been a disaster. And I think,
right
I'm worried
now,
about
I don't know how much effect we have, but I know we're only a trickle of that. But we are keeping them to a trickle of because everybody hates the Democratic Party, even a lot of the Democrats these days, because they stand for nothing but death of the Jews, even the Jewish ones. Chuck Schumer. Let me ask you a question: if Chuck Schumer retired right now and wanted to move to Israel, would they let him?
I hope so. I think they probably would in the end, but I can't stand that guy. He's done nothing.
He's a traitor to the Jewish people.
Yeah,
he's getting a lot of. He got a lot under Biden. He got a lot of people, a lot of Israelis killed by his actions.
Yeah, he's terrible. He's terrible.
So Charlie Kirk, let's go back to him. We're running out of time. Charlie Kirk. What? How is he thought of by Israelis?
Look, he, in a very positive light. He was very good.
He was a good defender of Israel, good Christian. Yeah. But what about him entrances the average Israeli?
Look, he was a very good defender of Israel. I mean, he went into the lion's den of the college campuses, and he was willing to stand for Israel. And anyone trying to, like people like Candace Owens, trying to distort the record, Charlie hadn't spoken to her for 2 years or something like that. She's off the rails, and it's all coming back, like I said, to this classic Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, off the rails. And I think it will be shown that they take money from Qatar. That's what I think will be shown.
Oh, all righty. Well, on that note, hey, is there going to be a time change with you?
There will be soon. I don't know when it is. Maybe next week.
It could be next week.
I have to check.
You check and get back to me, all right, would you?
I will.
Other than DWS, the Dave Weinbaum Show, where can people contribute and buy your book, The Secrets of the
HebrewBible.org. They can go to the website. It's right on your screen there, secretsofthehebrewbible.org. Or they can go to our website, israelalliance.org, or facebook.com/Israel Alliance. We'd love to hear from you.
Rabbi, if you frost your flakes, does that make you a serial killer?
What do you know from funny, you bastard?
No, that's terrible. Call him bastard, JP. Thank you. I can always blame him. What the hell?
He made me do it, Rabbi. It wasn't my fault.
Yeah, you did do it. I know that. All right. Well, Shabbat Shalom.
All right, guys. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
I hope it's over.
We'll see you next week.
I hope it's over.
Me too.
With positive results, okay?
Yeah,
Stay in touch.
All right, guys.
Take care. For Rabbi Moshe Rothschild. Thank you. Okay, good job. And you know what? Well, at 9:15, we're going to have Don here, but let's run a few clips first or something. Have we done anything funny yet? Not really. What do we got that's funny?
I've got Reagan and Carlin that's pretty funny.
Yeah, let's do that. We haven't done those in a while. Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay. Computer decides to
Soon as
cooperate. Fantastic.
Yeah. We thought we had a bad situation last week. I got home and suddenly I couldn't find the show in the right areas and stuff like that. We don't know if it was intentional or not. Sometimes these things happen. But you're always suspicious if you've been shadow banned and they have that practice been practiced for the last 5 or 6 years, maybe even 10 years. It's interesting, and we just keep plowing along, and you're going to hear some interesting things about the people in our government, like Tulsi Gabbard, getting shadow banned by TSA. Hit it.
Did you ever notice how awful your face looks in a mirror in a restroom that has fluorescent lights? Every cut, scrape, scratch, scar, scab, bruise, boil, bump, pimple, zit, wart, welt, and abscess you've had since birth all seem to come back at the same time. And all you can think of is, I gotta get the out of here!
Today marks my first State of the Union address to you, a constitutional duty as old as our republic itself. President Washington began this tradition in 1790 after reminding the nation that the destiny of self-government and the preservation of the sacred fire of liberty is finally staked on the experiment entrusted to the hands of the American people. For our friends in the press who place a high premium on accuracy, let me say, I did not actually hear George Washington say that.
I jumped on the bus. I told the driver, I got a tow here, buddy. Step on it.
Holy cow!
Yeah. Then, all of a sudden, this guy pulls out a gun. Well, I knew any delay's going to cost her her pinky toe, so I got out of the seat and I started walking towards him. He says, where do you think you're going, Cracker Jack? I says, well, I got a little prize for you, buddy. Yeah! Knocked him out cold.
How could you do that?
Yeah, then everybody is screaming because the driver, he's passed out because of all the commotion. The bus is out of control. So I grab him by the collar, I take him out of the seat, I get behind the wheel, now I'm driving the bus.
You're Batman.
Yeah, I am Batman. Then the mugger, he comes to and he starts choking me. So I'm fighting him off with one hand and I kept driving the bus with the other, you know. Then I managed to open up the door and I kicked him out the door, you know, with my foot, you know, at the next stop.
You kept making all the stops?
Well, people kept ringing the bell.
Your home is your castle, you don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments, that's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our #1 goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333.
Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
With warmer temperatures right around the corner and allergies ramping up, now's the time to get those AC units serviced. At Hartley's, we pride ourselves in offering outstanding service with fast response times. With proper maintenance, you can make those hot days be a lot cooler and remove those pesky allergens that always seem to find their way into your home. Call us today so you can be living a much cooler and healthier life. Hartley's, community born, community raised, community serving.
Call Hartley's Climate Control today at 573-368-3163.
Never be too coy to tell your friends and family about Koi Sushi and Hibachi. Celebrate the best Chinese-Japanese restaurant in the Midwest. Call 573-426-5551 to make a reservation or order takeout. Locally owned, 1808 North Bishop, Rolla, Missouri.
We can sum up McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich in one word. Crispy. But also juicy and tender. Okay, it's crispy, juicy, tender. All one word? But then, also pickle. Oh, and potato bun, which is 2 words. Okay, we can't sum up our new crispy chicken sandwich in one word, so you'll just have to try it to understand it. Order ahead on the McDonald's app at participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Merrill's Quarry and Asphalt, 40 years serving cities, counties, and everyday businesses with driveways for people who live and work in our little piece of heaven right smack dab in the middle of America. Call 573-578-9101 for your free estimate of rocking, rolling, paving, driveways, sealing, and striping too. That's 573-578-9101 for your free estimate.
Your home is your castle, you don't need unwanted hassle. Don't let those creatures move in to stay. Let us protect your investments, that's what we're all about. Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Plank is locally owned and family operated right here in Rolla, a Google preferred business. Our customer service and your satisfaction is our number one goal. So call Plank today at 368-3333.
Plank Termite and Pest Control will save the day.
Busy schedule? Let your locally owned Price Chopper help you save time with online shopping. It's easy. Sign up to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app in the App Store or Google Play. Create an account and browse through the categories and choose the items you need. When you place your order, your personal shopper will get all of the items you've selected, taking the same care you would and following your notes. We offer free curbside pickup, so you don't even have to get out of your car. Start your online order today and no online shopping fee for a limited time. Go to tcmarkets.com or download our mobile app to get started. Price Chopper. Fresher savings every day. A-Car Real Estate, where experience matters. 532 million sold since 2003, the number one sales volume in Phelps County. As a client for decades, I can say they are the best in mid-Missouri. Call 573-368-7355. That's 573-368-7355 for the best real estate experience you'll ever have.
Gotta reach 'em, see it right now.
Insurance going up like crazy? Daniel and Henry Insurance is one of the largest private insurance companies in the world. Richard Boyette, 314-444-5011. He's my guy at Daniel and Henry for 10 years. Business or personal, call Richard at 314-444-5011. He's the best.
Maybe it's for a kitchen you've always wanted. Maybe it's just to have a little extra room. Whatever the reason you're considering a new home loan, it's good to know that Town & Country Bank will guide you in the right direction. Our experienced local lenders are here to help you with a new home construction, remodeling projects, and fixed and adjustable rate home loans. You can even start the process online by clicking Online Mortgage Center at tcbanks.com. Smart, friendly solutions. Town & Country Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back on, and we got a guest here. He's a chicken herder, claims his wife's LLC owns them. Missouri representative running for state senate. Please welcome our friend Don Mayhew. You're welcome. All right, it's enough. I don't want to waste any more overtime.
This audience gets bigger every time I show up.
Well, yeah, but I got to shut them up because they want to give you more applause than you deserve. So.
Whoa, wait. Oh, hang on
What?
a second.
What?
Then I deserve?
Oh, you don't deserve all that. The hell? I got to pay these people for that. Jeez.
Yeah, I noticed you paid a lot for that.
Yeah.
Right. You're kind of like George Soros in that regard, aren't you? You have to have paid audience people, right?
You know, George Soros is now going to be accused of. Are you saying I commit crimes like George Soros?
Did I?
Are
say
you implying?
Did I say commit?
Why
crimes?
bring up George Soros? You could bring up. You could have brought up Donald Trump. You could have brought up anybody in the world except for George Soros. Probably a cause of people getting murdered in this country.
Donald Trump doesn't have to pay supporters. He doesn't have to pay protesters. That was my point. That you are. You know, you have a paid studio audience, And so
I just sit here and let him go on
instead of the ones that came just because I'm here. Other than those,
yeah. All right. Well, he's a good guy. And can you respectfully say your opponent's name without snickering?
I can't even spell any of my opponent's names. Can't even spell them, so I don't even know who you're talking about. Do I have an opponent?
For the Senate race?
Do I really have an opponent?
For a Senate race?
I mean,
is that what you think? Can you say his name?
Why would I do that? Yeah, that's what I pay you to do.
You pay me? When have you paid me? Have you been taking the money he's been sending me? What the hell's going on with that? Wait a minute.
Yeah, GP.
Oh, God. Everybody tells me the Jews control everything, and I'm trying to figure out
the Jews.
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 J-E-W.
Oh, I thought you said Jews as in like orange.
I'm like David the Jew. But everybody says Jews control everything. The stock market, it's Hollywood, everything. We're 2.4% of the total population. And
are you denying?
And I don't understand. I don't understand that how I missed out on this. They're all allegedly all these powerful Jews. How come I'm not?
Are you denying you control the show? Is that what you're doing?
I control
right
a
now?
show.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. So
tries to.
Okay. All right. So you still can't say the words. Bill Hardwick.
What words do you want me to say? Bill Hardwick is a good friend of mine.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
You're the Bruise Brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I call you now. You're the Bruise Brothers.
You're
not the Blues Brothers. You're the Bruise Brothers. You sort of have to throw little hard things at each other when you're. How do you actually? How do you go out and talk about your opponent?
I don't talk about my opponent.
Okay.
Didn't we just establish that? I don't talk about my opponent. I talk about policy.
Well, he talked about you.
No,
but he said nice stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And when given the opportunity, I say nice stuff about him.
I just gave you the opportunity. What did you say?
Well,
did you hear me give him the opportunity?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, it's not true. He does not have too much hair. That is not the case. He's probably got
does
just
not
the right
have
amount
too
of hair.
much hair.
Yeah, he does.
What does hair got to do with it? Is this
you
it?
said for me to say something nice about him, and I did. I just said
he doesn't have too much hair.
He does not have too much hair.
That's nice, right?
Certainly.
In other words,
nice.
He's not bald like you.
Exactly. See, but he's got the right amount of hair. It's not too much, not too little. I have too little hair. I freely admit that.
I have no hair.
I am follically challenged. That is not. It's actually something I've accepted about myself.
So you didn't do this on purpose. See, I do this on purpose because
Yeah.
I can grow it back.
Well, I can tell.
Can you? I got stubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not what you asked me to come here and talk about. So,
well, let me figure this out since I wrote this morning.
All right,
So
go ahead. I'm sure it'll be interesting.
Government shutdown.
Yes, I love them.
What? Do you get shut down with it too?
Of course not.
There you go.
The state of Missouri never sleeps. Trust me. In fact, if
Wait
you don't
a
believe
minute.
me,
Yeah. How does this affect Missouri?
well,
how does it affect you?
Well, it affects our district because we have a lot of.
It's like
employees.
the empire.
Yeah.
What empire was that?
The one that strikes back.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking
Say it
Star
again.
Wars.
Ottoman Empire.
The Ottoman Empire.
when the government goes down, you get to put up your feet. The Ottoman.
The Ottoman.
Never mind.
The Ottoman.
Ottoman.
The Ottoman Empire.
Ottoman Empire. That's right. Thank you.
Okay, so
thank you.
So we
right.
we certainly have a lot of employees that work over on Fort Leonard Wood that come from our district.
Yeah,
and including over here in Phelps County, there's a lot of folks that and we saw basically what happened back during COVID, whenever we had the government shutdown for a totally different reason, and a lot of people got furloughed off of Fort Leonard Wood. The resultant to that is that whenever they did get called back, well, then all of a sudden their daycare didn't exist anymore, and so where we had two income couples before, then now we had just one income, and so we took folks who were making between the two incomes about $90,000 a year, and then because of a problem the government created, right? Then only one of them could go back to work because either their daycare didn't exist or it was too expensive. And so then we took people who were not eligible for food stamps and made them eligible for food stamps. Does that make any sense to anybody? No.
Were they illegal aliens? I mean, it was Fort Leonard Wood, wasn't it?
No, they were regular citizens that lived in Crocker. And
So
Richland and
why
Dixon.
did you, as our leader, let them do that?
Why did I let the federal government do that?
Yeah.
Well, because unfortunately, and against the original intent of the Constitution, the states don't have much power over the federal
Right.
government. But
Okay.
I actually have a solution for that. I filed a bill in order to do that now 3
Yes.
years in a row. And that is, it's really simple, folks. You don't really need term limits in Washington, D.C. Here's the one thing that we need to do is, first of all, we get rid of the 14th Amendment. I think that's the one that created the IRS. But there's a method to the madness here. All taxes would then be collected by the states, and then the states would pay a franchise fee, let's say, to be in the United States of America. And I know
So no federal tax.
No federal tax. We just
which
pay
used to be the way things were in 1913.
Absolutely. You hit the nail right on the head, and the federal government wanted extra money. What did they do? They imposed tariffs.
Yeah.
And so, at any rate, the other component of that bill is that in any year where the federal government didn't complete and vote on a budget, and it was passed by the president of the United States, then the states wouldn't be obligated to pay their pro rata share of the federal budget.
Right.
Okay. So what does that do for us? Well, instantaneously, it makes our federal government responsive to the states, right? Back to us, the people. And so then you don't need term limits anymore, right? We don't need a constitutional amendment for term limits because they'll be self-imposed.
Yeah.
Now there's no financial incentive for someone to get elected to the United States Congress or United States Senate and go up there and turn themselves into billionaires, right?
Yeah.
My former congressman, prior to Vicky Hartzler, he left Lexington, Missouri, by his own definition, just a poor lawyer from Lexington, Missouri. Well, I don't know how poor you are if you call yourself a poor lawyer, but let's give him that he was not a millionaire, right, or a very small millionaire. Then he left the United States Congress when Vicky Hartzler beat him, the third richest man in the United States Congress. Now, keep in mind that Nancy Pelosi and Darrell Issa were both in the United States Congress at the time, and they were both billionaires before they came in. And so how does
Nancy Pelosi was a billionaire before she came in?
Yeah, pretty sure of that.
No,
Yeah.
she wasn't.
Well,
she made herself a billionaire, maybe.
Well, maybe, but
with inside voting, with the inside buying.
Well, it takes money to make money, Dave, as you well know.
Yeah.
And so
where'd she get the money?
I'm certain that she wasn't poor. Well, not poor by my definition. Now, she may have been poor by her definition, but I don't even know what her definition is because I should be so lucky. I want to be that poor, right? But the point of that is that his only competition of being a poor lawyer from Lexington, Missouri, was these two people who were billionaires. And so the reality is how does that happen if you are just a poor lawyer from Lexington, Missouri, let's say, and you end up in the United States Congress and you become rich? Is that what was he doing in between time? Was he making some lucky guesses on some investment opportunities like Nancy was doing? Perhaps. But he was at different times in his 26-year career, chairman of the Armed Services Committee. And trust me, there is a lot of money that goes through to that purpose. And there's a lot of incentive for folks to perform.
So what are you going to do to accommodate the shutdown? Are you going to fire the roosters and the hens?
Well, my chickens are not federal employees. They depend on me daily, sort of like illegal aliens. They depend on me daily to go to work. So
the illegal aliens run your farm, and you do the work. I don't understand.
When that came out of my
that
mouth,
wasn't clear.
When that came out of my mouth, I knew you would twist it in some form.
Well, I didn't. I actually copied what you said exactly.
No, yellow journalist. You're a yellow journalist. People don't even know what that means anymore.
With my yellow pad.
Yeah,
See that?
exactly. See,
is that proof?
I proved.
Yeah,
there's your evidence right there.
There's my evidence.
He's a yellow pad journalist.
Yellow pad journalist. Yes, that's not bad.
Are you technically a journalist?
No, I think I'm like these are legal. That's a legal
That doesn't
pad.
make it legal just
But
because
you know what? I have a lot of
pad.
lawyers. I'll be talking to a lawyer at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
2 lawyers.
Saying that a legal pad makes you a lawyer is like me saying I write legislation that makes me a lawyer.
If you ask some lawyers that have been in cases with me, they will say some of them have said that I was better than they were in court.
So
believe it or not,
because
I've been in court a lot.
Because you started telling jokes, and they said, "Can we please make this stop? We will settle out of court. Just please, no more."
I was serious, but I did make a joke. The judge said, "Can I do anything for you?" Before it was Judge Clayton. He says, "I was sitting in court. We were waiting for the court to start."
The judge said, "Can I do anything for you?"
Yeah, I says, "Yeah. Can you get me a mug for coffee? I'm here so often." He didn't like it though. He didn't laugh. It wasn't a good idea.
No, you that I can see how that might end up with you being unintentionally asked to spend the night in the county jail.
That's been a threat to me. In one was North Dakota in front of a judge.
Was it contempt also?
I actually had a lawsuit because my then wife's children were being kept away from her. So I went up to get them to at least, give her some time with the kids. And then it became a little bit of a scuffle because the judge, for some reason, didn't like me. He kept the guy that does the records.
That might not have been the only guy in the room that had that opinion.
I'm sure. I'm a Jew coming up from Rolla, Missouri, in North Dakota. Give me a break. Yeah, I get it. And I was asked,
I was talking about.
Did you fly your personal plane up here? The questions like that. And
did you?
No, because I don't have one.
You borrowed one.
I didn't have
from one of your rich buddies.
I did not have one. No, but it got to the point to where I was invited by not the judge but my lawyer to go in and have the when the lawyers go to this.
Can I back up here for just 1 second, because there's something going through my head. I'm trying to figure this out. You said your wife's children's children.
Yeah.
Isn't that the proper term for those grandchildren?
No. Well, my wife's, I didn't say that. My wife's then wife's. My then wife's children.
Not say that?
Ex-wife. Yeah. Ex-wife.
I understand she was an ex-wife.
Would you clean out his ears, because he can't hear? Poor guy.
I am certain that you said we'll have to go back and listen to the videotape later on.
Okay.
But I'm fairly certain you said your ex-wife's children's children.
No.
Okay. All right. Well,
I could have stumbled. I'm not as old. I'm older than you.
So was that a stutter then? You were
could have been.
You're claiming it was a stutter.
You never know.
My ex-wife's
but it's certainly
children.
not what I meant.
Okay.
Right. And so you get in the judge's
You're talking
chambers.
To a judge. Now, keep in mind.
Yes. All right. Well, you get into the judge's chambers,
right.
And I'm participating in this with the lawyers, just the lawyers.
Yeah.
And it became into a custody case.
I'm not a lawyer, by the way, so I don't understand any of this. I'm not a lawyer, but you go ahead.
Well, okay. Well, it turned into a custody case when they refused to let the kids spend time with their mother.
Okay.
And the judge during the court he dismissed our case, and I had it appealed at the Supreme Court of North Dakota.
Mm.
And in that, I told my lawyer, a nice lady in North Dakota, what to say.
Mm-hmm.
She said exactly what I said,
mm-hmm.
and we won the case. We actually split twins in North Dakota, and I'll never forget it. I was sitting upstairs in a big Capitol building there with the Supreme Court of North Dakota, and their lawyer
Were they
turned to me and looked at me like, what did you just do? He knew I did it.
Right.
Okay.
Were they identical twins?
No.
Oh. Well, then that wasn't.
And one of them lives here. One of them has lived here now, and she's thrilled to be here. And her brother lives in North Dakota still.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't twins.
You separated twins?
No. But if you had to, yeah. I mean, if one of them wanted to stay there, and this one, they put her in a home. They put her in a home, like
foster home, probably.
Yeah, foster home, rather than go see her mother once in a while.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's probably more to this story, but I think
No,
I
not really.
think you're getting to a point somewhere where how you avoided contempt of court charges.
Well, when we got back and had this discussion,
Yeah.
the judge made a statement that we don't really have to follow that Supreme Court decision. And I says, well, I think you do, Judge. He says, what are you doing in here? He says, I'll give you a few seconds to get out of here. I said, okay. Otherwise, you're going to jail. The jail was right down there. So, yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, yeah, Ken Clayton usually makes pretty good decisions, but
Yeah,
I think he missed an opportunity.
That
there
wasn't
for a
Ken
good one.
Clayton.
You said it was Ken.
No, this was a judge in North Dakota. Did you know that?
No, you said you
Clayton.
started this story with
Yes.
Judge Clayton.
Well, I didn't. No, that was a different story about him saying, "What would you like, Mr. Weinbaum?" And I said, "Well, how about a cup with my name on it, so that I can?" And he didn't
'Cause
think
you were
that,
there so
and he
often.
didn't think,
Yep,
and he didn't
okay.
think that was funny. So okay, and then I went on to the North Dakota story.
Mm-hmm.
Completely different stories. Would you please listen? Please listen.
So back to my original argument about he told bad jokes until everybody just gave up. Okay.
Okay.
Now that we've established that,
Sometimes I do, and you're laughing. She's laughing.
No, I'm just like, okay, get done with the worn out divorce story, please.
Yeah, she hates that when I talk about
I hate all the
ex-wives.
divorce stories. Why would I enjoy them?
Well, because it has nothing to do with the divorce. It has to do
Totally.
with my prowess as a
I don't like that talk.
Yeah, imagined lawyer.
Well,
that's
hey,
all.
Hey, hang on a second, guys. I do not want to be called as a witness to this divorce.
He has no empathy. He has no empathy.
There you go. I had it last week. I got it washed off of my arm. The empathy, yeah. It was no good. So okay, this government closed down.
Right. Yep.
Who blinks first and why?
Okay, so me personally, I think Trump's threat, or honestly, I don't think it's a threat. But what this does is puts him in a position to reduce the total staff of federal employees, right?
A lot of whom are what? A lot of whom are what?
IRS
political?
agents.
A lot of whom are what? In what party?
Well, I would have a hard time making a precise determination, but I'm going to say that a big chunk of those federal employees are probably not donating to Republicans for
Yeah, they're
campaigns.
Democrats. Just say Democrats. Can you say that word? Just one word. You didn't have to. See, you're using like 10, 15 words. Democrats. All you needed to say was Democrats.
What is my part-time job? What is my part-time job?
Besides being a BSer.
No, I was going to say I can definitely confirm that there are very few conservatives in the federal workforce. We'll leave it at that.
So
yeah.
Now, if you're given the choice, let's say you're Nancy Pelosi, and you share a lot of. Oh,
okay.
No. Yeah, she's that. That's not even close, man.
How do you know? You do it.
I can do a better Nancy
You do
Pelosi.
it. Let's hear it.
So the thing that came to my mind, I probably can't share with polite company. But,
okay.
So the point is
what do you know about? Give me that again.
Oh my God.
Okay.
What do you know from funny, you bastard?
All right, go ahead. Let's continue.
So the point of all that is, of course, that a lot of times in government it becomes a game of chicken, right? To use a chicken analogy.
Yeah, you know all about that.
I knew he would do something with that. I figured it would be better than that, but I mean, at any rate, so Trump, one-ups him and says, okay, well, we're probably going to find out.
How did they not see that coming?
Well, because you got to keep in mind from where they're at, more government is the normal, right? It was like what I say about Medicaid all the time. We found out Medicaid doesn't work, but instead of us fixing Medicaid, we just created a new program called the FRA to fix Medicaid, put a Band-Aid on Medicaid. That's probably for another show. But the reality is this. The reason they didn't see that coming is because it's Washington, D.C. They think this is just the normal way of doing business. And honestly, the only thing that they need to do, but they will not lower themselves to do it, is read The Art of the Deal. If you just read The Art of the Deal, you will know everything you need to know about Donald Trump. It is that simple. So this is an Art of the Deal thing, right? And so I don't know where he's going to make these cuts, but when the government shuts down, apparently the president then can say who comes back to work.
Right.
And so there was 88,000 new IRS agents who we all complained about as unnecessary, especially when we were training them to use a pistol.
That's right.
To audit income tax returns. Well, maybe that would be a good place to start.
Okay.
And so, so my guess is that Chuck Schumer has now said, "Oh crap." Right now, now he's just got to make a show of it. But sooner or later,
my point to you is that I want to know. They're all supposed to be fairly intelligent. Most of them are lawyers and things like that.
Oh, wow.
How come they didn't see it coming?
Okay, first of all,
because what you're doing is expanding tax. You're expanding all the bad things. You're taking away the tax cuts that are in this bill. It's a bill that's going to help America. Everybody in America kind of sees that. His ratings are through the roof.
Yes.
And this thing is not stopped it. It's enhanced it.
No, don't get this confused. What this latest budget fight is that's the big but beautiful bill passed,
right?
Which was some of those things you were talking about. This is only about a continuing resolution. This is to extend the credit card for the federal government until we can get to a budget.
But I'm talking about the whole concept of why they did this. And it's going to bite them in the butt.
Well, I'm pretty sure
it is already.
Yes. No, I'm pretty sure that that what we originally started with was the government shutdown, which is a result of the CR. So what happens? Okay, I refer you to Pete Hegseth's talk that he gave to all the brass up in Washington. He made everybody with a star come to this meeting, right? And he goes. I'm going to paraphrase a lot, so I apologize if I offend anyone out there or anything, but man, I loved it. He goes, we ain't going to have no more fat generals, right?
I love that. You had a lot of fat generals there saying, what do you mean? What do you mean?
You boys are going to fit into the uniform you came into the Army with. Right? We're not going to make double X sizes anymore. And then he said, if you're going to be in the Army, you're going to meet the same standard as everybody. I don't care who you are, right? We're not going to lower the standards for anybody, because what is our primary mission, right? What is the job we're trying to do here? And if you can't do that job, now I know people are going to say, oh, wait a minute, I can do that job just as good as him. Well, I'm sure if you're sitting in front of a computer terminal, you don't have to be able to run a 4-minute mile. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure you don't have to do that, right? And I agree with that. Right. But that's not what Pete was talking about.
Right.
What Pete was talking about is if I'm going to boot you out of an airplane with a parachute and you're going to hit the ground and you're going to start fighting, which is what the Army's for.
Yeah.
Well,
for war.
Then you're going to have to meet the standard of every single person who comes out of the back of that airplane.
Right.
And that only makes sense, folks. And we should have been doing this a long time ago, obviously.
Yeah.
And so we're not going to separate you into different groups. And then you give people preferential treatment. If you meet the standard, if you do the merit, if you pass the test, then you're going to get the promotion. It's that simple. And so I've never been in the military, But I love it to finally have somebody who realizes the value, first of all, of the military, and second of all, how much money we spend there, and it should be invested wisely. Because too many times we take crazy money and dump it on defense plant manufacturers and people like that
who get kickbacks to who.
And when that money should have been down there paying the private first class a living wage.
Right.
And this is so simple, folks. It's just nuts. When my son was in the Army as a private first class, he made $1,300 a month, cleared $1,300 a month. Okay. And it wasn't that long ago. Now, he was a tomb guard up in Arlington. From the top of his hat to the bottom of his shoes was $650 worth of stuff.
Wow.
Right. And he had to have 2 uniforms. So you know what his first month's pay went to? Those 2 uniforms.
He had to buy them?
He had to buy them.
Wow.
Everything. He had to buy the shoes and everything else. Wow. Okay. So now these shoes are special shoes. They're not, they're not your average, they have these clacker things on them because, you've seen these guys march and they click their heels together. Oh, well, those, and of course he's 6'5", and so he wears a size 13 shoe. So it ain't like you can find these down at the thrift store. Right. And so
they had to make it for him special, which is even more expensive.
No, back when he was a tomb guard, they were all you had to be at least 6'3" in order to be a tomb guard, and so you had to be you had to meet that particular standard. Well, but the point of that is that there weren't no pay for the private first class who did that, at least not for the first month, and the other thing is that he was an unaccompanied married man, and another crazy thing. So they required him to rent an apartment from the local housing contractor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if he would have been single, he could have stayed in the barracks for free.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he couldn't because he was married, but he was unaccompanied. His wife was
so that's just about that pulled everything out of him.
So he did not make any money at all. Because after his first month, then all of his money went to rent this overly priced apartment that was, by the way, on base, and a private contractor was running it.
Yeah.
And so one simple little change there, and allow him to stay in the barracks because he was unaccompanied, right? So then he could have stayed in the barracks for free and ate at the mess hall for free, but no, because of some stupid regulation that they had, that since he was married, he had to live in their contractor's apartment that was on base. Nuts. It's just nuts. And
so is that over? Is that now out, or is that the same?
I have no idea because he served his tour duty and then he got out of the Army. Well, because he couldn't afford to be in the Army, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. So,
but instead of us taking money down there, and it's kind of like what we do at the state, this is nuts. So we need truck drivers from MoDOT. Well, instead of us paying up for truck drivers to run snowplows in the wintertime so we can compete for truck drivers like, the ones that are driving for Walmart or whatever. Mm-hmm. No, we give everybody an across the board raise. So that means the already overpaid middle manager at MoDOT gets a 10% raise along with the truck drivers. Trust me, we don't have a problem coming up with middle managers to work at MoDOT, right? Mm-hmm. They are actually paid really close to industry standard by the time you figure all their benefits in there. So it's the same similar thing. We need privates in the Army. We got to have them, right? So doesn't it make much more sense instead of exploring the possibility of a new fighting machine of some kind or another? Not that those aren't important, but maybe we should incentivize the guy who has to drive that machine, right? And since they all of them start as a private first class. Well, they actually started as a private, I guess, but they, then they get to be a private first class, then a sergeant and what have you, right? But those guys need to be incentivized, especially those, I would think, those ones that have been with you for a while, those non-commissioned officers who are the ones who really know how the whole thing fits together. And so you need a way to keep those people with you. and because that's what you and I do, right? In our business, we incentivize those people who, first of all, will work.
Yeah.
And because that's a real problem now, but also the ones who have taken initiative, learned the system, and are demonstrating that management capability.
Yeah.
We want those people. I tell all the people who work for me, I ask this question in interviews all the time, and I know it sounds trite, but I say, so what do you want to be doing in 5 years? Well, if the guy says, well, I don't know, kind of like this might be something I might be interested in. But the guy who says 5 years, I want your job.
There you go.
That's the guy I'm hiring. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And so how do we do that? How do you and I do that? Well,
we do it all the time. We
incentivize those folks.
Yeah.
Right. We want to keep them around.
I've been an owner operator for like almost 53 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have come through the store
and
training
you obviously
and all that.
Like your product.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. But I'm losing weight. You're not so much. Anyways, so is it the Secretary of War or Defense? What do you think?
Oh, no, absolutely.
Why didn't you think of that?
That's what we do, right?
Yeah.
And so because now we want to make sure our enemies know that we ain't just going to throw up the barricades, right? Because we've got some enemies out there who...
You think Venezuela understands that yet?
Well, I think they do after losing 3 boats to a Hellfire missile.
No, he says basically we're at war with people that are going to be selling drugs.
But we always have been, Dave. That's the whole point. This is an
Well, we didn't know about it.
Well, absolutely. What?
We didn't know about it.
They kill 150,000 Americans every year.
No, we didn't know about that. We went to war with these people who were selling us drugs. You don't listen very well, do you?
Oh, so I'm not. Huh? What?
I'm not that hard to understand. I'm a very simple man.
I say we've been at war for years with them. In fact, we used to call it the war on drugs, right?
We used to call it that, but apparently these guys weren't afraid to come over here. They've been doing it a long time.
Precisely. Yeah.
So therefore they were surprised.
Yeah.
When they got knocked off, they were shocked.
Well,
and so was the guy running the country, Venezuela. What's his name?
I don't know.
No, I don't know either. But he is stunningly stupid. He gets it now.
Oh yeah,
like he's going to fight he was going to send his airplanes up to shoot down some of these other planes.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, he couldn't get them off the ground.
Oh, you're talking about Putin?
No, I'm talking about Venezuela.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think the latest version he's got, which is actually a pretty good plane, he's got some old F-4 Phantoms, I think. And you'll recall those. There's still a good plane, but obviously they're not going to take on a Raptor, right?
Exactly.
Because that one can shoot you before it takes off.
So here's another thing that Trump does. He has a great concept, like Secretary of War.
Mm-hmm.
He has a great concept of moving names around.
Gulf of America.
I just had that written down. Yeah. Gulf of America.
Oh no, that's bad.
What a brilliant thing.
Are we thinking the same? That's bad. That's terrible. So okay, yeah, I know. Yeah, but it also.
Do you think it's bad, or you just?
No, it's bad that you and I came up with that at the same time. But see, that's more. No,
that's really. There's a lot of hope for you.
Well, that's descriptive of what it is because it touches South America.
Yeah.
It touches Central America. And it touches North America. So why wouldn't we call it the Gulf of America?
Well, we are the Americas.
Exactly.
All down, up and down the corridor.
From the Tierra del Fuego all the way to the North Pole.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Should Trump be out there buying, maybe making Canada a state and Greenland, possibly a state?
Antarctica. Whatever.
Are you okay?
I'm trying to mix America and Antarctica, right? I came out wrong. I'm sorry.
Quite the tongue twister.
And you accuse me of language problems? All right.
So no one should be worried until we call it America Opa. that's when people should get worried, right?
What's that? Say again.
America OPA, Europe.
No, you don't want that.
I didn't think about that joke long enough. I probably should have put a little.
Oh, that was a joke.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Oh God.
So we covered that,
Well,
and we covered the furloughs or the layoffs, whatever you want to call that thing.
Let's talk about anti-Semitism a little bit.
Oh yeah.
There was just an attack in Manchester, England, on a Jewish synagogue over the Yom Kippur holiday. A guy ran a car through the building. There was two of them, I guess, and they had Syrian connections.
Mm-hmm.
And they stabbed a bunch of people. I guess two of them got killed.
Right.
And one of them got shot by a Manchester cop.
Uh-huh.
And I'm wondering about this because this was in the Journal. Is that we got to start protecting Jews all over the world because this is happening more and more where it's not just a happening, it's condoned.
Well, once again, so not to make light of it, but this would be a normal knee-jerk reaction for the left. But doesn't that mean that we need knife control?
Well, sure, control.
Because obviously the knife operated by itself.
In your case, you need voice control.
Well,
see,
so the
it's just like getting stabbed in the back.
Well, the truth is about me that I have a face for radio and a voice for silent movies. So I'm actually qualified to do this show. So because I'm sure people put it on mute frequently, but it's. But in any case, no. So I told you about that where I went earlier this summer. Went to the CAM meeting, and that was about anti-Semitism. And I'm telling you, folks, you are not being told the truth at all. So they showed the categories of people who had been subject to some kind of hate crime, right? And of course, people of Jewish faith or Jewish descent, it was up 400%.
Right.
And so then they had the categories of people who were perpetrating this. And so, as you would expect, there was a certain number of Muslims, and that stayed pretty much the same of anti-Semitism attacks. But the one category, because you always hear this, it's the white nationalists, it's the Nazis and everything else. Did you know that actually went down 2% over the last year? But you know what went up 400%? Left-wing violence against Jews. 400% up. But did you see that on ABC, CBS, or wherever?
No, you see it on Fox.
These aren't statistics from some Jewish think tank. This was data from the FBI.
Yeah.
Their FBI, keep in mind, because that was numbers that came from the Biden era administration FBI. Yeah. So I'm not saying it's necessarily true, but they certainly would slant it the direction if they could. So.
JP.
So I got a message from Richard Lockwood, said that he was told to call in or something.
Oh, yeah.
So let me see if I can.
Did he call?
He called me. He may have tried to call the show, too.
Okay, I forgot about that.
Oh, wow. That's a bad sign.
Can't forget about it. Just forget about it. No, don't forget. You can hang out. I got, apparently you don't have to go anywhere.
Hey, we had the Alzheimer's walk last week. I wasn't saying anything about that.
Really?
I was just saying.
So I should have been there, but I forgot. That's pretty funny.
I'm not telling you.
Aha! What do you know about funny? Come on, that was good. Hello, is this Mr. Lock? Richard Jeffries. Did you call in?
I did.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I'm talking to a very interesting person who happens to be running for the state senate, and he's an old friend, or just old. And it's interesting talking to him.
He could have said friend, Richard, but he didn't. He said
okay, friend.
Yeah.
And Richard used to be called a bunch of different names. Now it's Jeffries, right? Richard Jeffries.
It's Richard Jeffrey.
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 Okay.
And
you just wrote a book. What the hell is the name of the book?
Okay, it's called A is for America. It's a collection of patriotic poems
Oh.
for young Americans.
Well, that's great. Where can they get it?
They can purchase this at Barnes & Noble online, Amazon online,
Yeah,
and,
all
and a
right.
few other bookstores.
Yeah. Show his other book,
um,
JP. Yeah. Okay. Now tell me.
Actually, I sent a picture of the cover and
Yeah.
front cover and back cover to
JP,
your show.
Okay.
I don't know if
Did you
JP
get
got
that?
but,
Was it on Messenger or where was it at?
I believe so.
Okay, I'll look for it real quick.
All right. So while that's happening, tell us about briefly about the movie that you talked about that shows a lot of things that have happened recently, and this is a movie sort of in prediction of what that happened, happening. What was that?
It's called Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes.
With Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Listen to this.
Mhm.
Okay, and tell us why this is relevant to today.
Well, Snake Eyes seems to be a predictive movie, where the person that was assassinated was a person by the name of Kirk, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And his assassin was named Kyle in some form, and it's
Tyler?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Tyler. Yeah.
Tyler. So it's worth a watch, and if I do my homework on it, I'll I'll present that to you sometime.
Okay. Well, great. All right. Well, thanks a lot.
Also, one other thing.
Yes. What's that?
This is something a lot of people don't know.
What?
That Charlie Kirk and George Floyd have the exact same birthdays.
Oh, really?
Isn't that interesting?
And were they the same age?
No, they weren't the same age, but they share the exact same birthday.
This guy, he goes back to the books, and my daughter actually told me about these books about Baron Trump.
Yes.
You know when it was written? 1890s. 1890s. And he was living in a New York high-rise. All right?
Yeah.
And what was the name of some of these books? You remember?
Yeah, the Marvelous Adventures of Little Baron Trump.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's hilarious. Right?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, little. Right.
Was
Okay.
that art imitating life or life imitating art? Which way did that one go?
All right. Well, give me some new shtick, and I'll get you on a regular show one of these days.
That
Okay.
sounds good. Thanks for
my friend.
having me on. And
all right. Name of your book again. Name of your book is
A is for
America. Oh, he's got it up too.
With an exclamation point after it.
Okay.
The publisher is Liberty Hill.
Okay. Thanks a lot, buddy. You have a great weekend.
You have a great day too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Yes, sir. Yeah.
So, hey, can I do a little shout out real quick?
Sure.
So last week, I was honored to present a resolution to two actual bona fide Rosie the Riveters. These two ladies, and they both live in Eldon, and these two ladies worked at the Fairfax plant in Kansas City, making the B-24s.
Okay.
And so, it was the classic story. These two ladies had left the farm, basically. They both came from rural Missouri and went to Kansas City. And this story can be repeated. In fact, my mother-in-law was a Rosie the Riveter also. But these two ladies are still alive. One of them was 100 years old, and the other one was 103 years old, both sharp as a tack. Monica McMillan was one of them, and the other one was Jewel Likens, and they both currently live in Eldon. But we had discovered, thankfully, there was a lady that worked in the senior center there who brought our attention to this. And so we did a little bit of research, and I'm going to put a shout out to my legislative assistant, Josh Roman. He discovered that the Congress had actually approved the printing of a medal to honor these ladies, and so they were just about out of them, right? And so we were fortunate enough to find that the company that manufactured them for the Congress was still had some of these available, and so we were able to make this presentation to them, and their story is just amazing. I mean, I wish I could tell you all about it here, but it is amazing. It's the classic story. These, if you'll remember what the Rosie the Riveters were, is that, on December,
they built the planes.
Yeah. On December the 8th, everybody that worked in the defense plants and everywhere else, the machine shops, they were lined up outside the recruiter's office, right? Because and so that left all of these open holes, and so these companies put out a call for anybody. We got to have people to come in here because we need people to do this. And so
the significance of December 8th is
the significance of December the 8th is it's a day after December the 7th.
Yeah,
and December the 7th, 1941, the day that will live in infamy. That was the
Thank you.
attack
Not
on-
everybody has that on their mind.
Well, my goodness, what have we done where we don't know that date? Right?
There's plenty of people who don't connect it,
and that's a shame. At any rate, I don't know if this can show up on camera or not.
Yeah.
But this is a little pin that they were putting out, and Lisa has one on also. She's sporting one of them.
Okay.
And it's what it represents is the bandana. You've seen the picture of Rosie the Riveter, and she's wearing the polka dot bandana.
Yeah.
And but the story is amazing. One of these ladies still drives. That is,
Really?
she drives, and she volunteers at the senior center, and drives there every day to volunteer at the senior center. She's 100 years old, so I was so honored to get to do that. Filled the place up. I mean, it was a senior center. It probably can get 100 people in there, and it was standing room only. It was amazing. They have an amazing story, but often we forget about those components down there. That certainly all the accolades need to go to the greatest generation for a lot of different reasons, not just because of D-Day and Battle of the Bulge and all of that.
Right.
But there was no Battle of the Bulge without the Rosie the Riveter.
There you go.
And so we certainly can't win. I mean, I think Patton said it the best. He says, here's what won the World War II was the M1 rifle, the Deuce and a Half, the 2.5 ton truck, and the C-47, the cargo plane. And he said, but who had to use that gun was some private first class, right? Who had to drive that truck, who had to fly that airplane, who jumped out of that airplane. That's what all of those pieces are what won the war, including down the line, not really down the line, but the most important part. You don't do that without the planes and the trucks and the guns and things like that, which most of those were produced by these ladies who, they're doing their part for the war effort for sure.
And the best thing is, you said the key word is words. You won the war.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And that's what war is about. You got to win it.
Yeah, that's why we call it the War Department.
Yeah, and we don't want to have it. And the best war is the one that prevents future wars.
Yeah,
and we were okay for a while, but not really, because North Korea was fairly close to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand exactly why we had that. Vietnam. It seems like they didn't make a lot of sense, and you got a lot of young people killed on both sides.
Well, and so we were warned by Eisenhower about the military-industrial complex, and so while we may quibble over Korea, certainly Vietnam had components of exactly what Eisenhower was trying to tell us, and so then even more recently. The prolonged conflicts that we've been involved in that we clearly, not that we shouldn't have had retribution against some of those that were in power that were allowing this, but the reality is that spending 20 years anywhere is not the way you win a war, right? I forget which journal it was that he said, you don't win a war by being a nice guy. right? Is essentially what he said.
Well,
and he said, it takes a lot.
unless you're a Jew at war, you're expected to
right.
feed the population and stay away from those babies because we have a right to have them protect us. You see.
Well, and so he also said,
which I agree, but you can't do that. You can't put a baby in front of you as a
human shield,
and they do that all the time.
Well, no,
all
absolutely.
the time.
He said, it takes a lot to make an American mad, but once you do, we're going to come at you with everything we got,
and we should.
And that's the only way.
And Israel should.
Well, that's the way the world is right now.
Well, it's not just this war; it's other wars. I mean, we've warred with each other since the beginning of time.
Yeah. Well, the whole reason for civilization is to solve our differences in a peaceful manner.
We should, but that doesn't happen now. Let me just intercede that we don't have. Let me read Andrea Shrum, but before that, can you get Mark McCluskey on?
Yeah, I even I texted him the link as well, and I'd emailed him the link yesterday, and I haven't heard back from him yet. So,
well, I think you want to call him while I read this. Andrea Shrum had a blessed Yom Kippur, praying for the nations. We'll be blessed to be in D.C. next week. During Feast of the Tabernacles to join the Communion America for a national observance of the Lord's table on the National Mall. Over 4 days, there will be 50 tents set up on the National Mall, one for each state, 27/7 praise, worship, and prayer before the Lord, October 9 through 12. I didn't even know she was Jewish.
Huh. I don't know if she is.
Yeah.
Well,
so yesterday
she isn't.
Yesterday was Yom Kippur, correct?
Yeah. Good morning to Dave and the lovely Lisa Weinbaum and the crew. I don't know why I didn't mention you.
I guess
you're the crew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The crew.
You're a crew. You're a cruel crew. Cruel. Huh? Are you? Oh yeah. And are you trying to get a hold of him?
I'll have to step outside and call real quick.
All right. Christopher Ronzani, we call him the Godfather here. Just curious, what is the location of your broadcast? Thank you. And don't forget to eat your pasta. See? I says, we're somewhere in Missouri.
So Yom.
I can't release that, Godfather. You know that.
So Yom
Godfather,
Yom
please
Kippur,
forgive me. Forget about it.
Yom Kippur is also the Day of Atonement.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah.
I have plenty to atone for, as we all do.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it
and
is.
I starved.
Mm-hmm.
Honey,
sure.
I starved from the previous night all the way through 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock is not sunset.
So
we always broke it.
Is that is yours a traditional fast where you don't drink anything either?
Oh no, I drink water.
Okay,
and you take your meds.
I know.
Take your meds.
So
I don't know. That's a good question. I'd have to look that up.
I looked it up.
What? And you're not supposed to drink water?
No,
nothing.
Oh, that's crazy.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
That's just crazy.
To really hydrate the day before.
Yeah.
Hydrate?
And, prepare.
Hydrate.
I talked to Mark. He's having some issue with StreamYard and his computer's being weird, so he's going to call in here in just a second.
All right,
I'll have the phone.
That's fine.
So that yes. So, but you're just like everything else for what it represents is you have to prepare in advance. That's part of your assignment as a good Christian or a good Jew.
Well, all right. Well, you know what? I got my next guest here, and you're welcome to stay. He won't be on TV today. That's too bad. Or on the internet, but he's going to be on the phone.
I thought we'd have him earlier.
You can hang on. You can hang here.
I have another appointment.
Yeah, sure you do.
But I will stay as long as I can.
All right. Well, let's hear it. Well, let's hear it for my friend over here, Don Mayhew. And I have, other than Dave Weinbaum, I'm sure, where can people call you, buy eggs, and contribute?
So they can always now
make it quick.
I'm not religious on Facebook, but that'd be a good place to catch me. You can always get in touch with me and I'm available for weddings, bar mitzvahs, and whatever the event that you have.
Yeah, I can see you do a bar mitzvah.
I don't. I don't do the clown thing very well, although some people might disagree.
Yeah, I think that's your best bet. What do you call a tiny shopping center?
Oh my goodness! That I almost got out of here without one of these.
I know.
All right, go ahead. I give up.
This is what you call a tiny shopping center. A small. Hey, he laughed.
JP, you let him get away with that.
All right, now I'm going to introduce my next guest, and he I don't know whether his wife Patricia is with him or not, but these are two American heroes having a barbecue in their backyard and suddenly accosted by 350 BLM and an Antifa led by Quarry Bush, a congressman, as they threatened to rape the wife and murder both of them and take over the house. Please welcome all the way from St. Louis, Mark and Pat McCluskey. Yeah, both of you there today?
Well, we got me, but just like Don, I've got a face for radio and a voice for silent pictures.
All right, give him a little laughter there. I don't know. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. So Putin calls Trump a smart man who listens. He wants to talk to him again. So, what is he playing a game here? He also wants he wants Israel to declare a Palestinian state within its borders. So, what do you think of that?
Well, it's getting to be winter time. Russia likes fighting wars in the winter because they're used to the cold and they're used to the mud. In fact, when I was my Russian teacher in prep school said that where she grew up, the mud was so deep in the wintertime, the roads were made out of telephone poles. They were driven lengthwise into the ground. And so the Russians are used to that. And I think they're trying to drag things out in Ukraine until they have that kind of home field advantage. And also they can rearm and re-up.
Well, that's like Rocky. Remember that movie when he fought the champion from Russia, and they put him out in northern Russia where he had to walk on these poles.
Yeah,
isn't that something? Wow.
Yeah. So it's the standard technique. And by the way, he also knows that the Ukrainians are running out of fighting age men. The average age in the Ukrainian army now is 44. And there are almost no fighting age people left in the country.
Well, how about him? Is he still got an army? I mean, they've lost between themselves about at least 1 million people.
Yeah, but it's a big country and a relatively young country compared to Ukraine. There's really, given the fact that Russia is like an enormous country, there's only like 150 million Russians.
Right.
So it's got a very, very sparse population per square mile, but nonetheless, they still have 150 million people, and a large fighting force. The Palestinian part of this, once again, is just to drive a wedge through between different factions in the United States, in my humble opinion.
Okay, so what about him saying that about Trump? So what should Trump think of this, and what should he do?
Trump has always said that he thinks Vladimir Putin is an intelligent guy.
Yeah.
And so you got two guys with small egos out there trying to outdo each other with how much they fictitiously respect each other.
So small egos. Yeah, that's really right. Yeah. He also called for full recognition and relationship with the USA. So is that going to happen anytime soon? I don't think so.
Well, I hearken back to the illustrious days of yesteryear, back at the fall of the Soviet Empire. Russia had always been and always wanted to be a European country. The Tsars were, in the latter days of German heritage. For example, I guess Prince Philip of England was the first cousin of Tsar Nicholas II. I mean, they always wanted to be a European country. The fall of the Soviet Union, they wanted to join NATO. They wanted to join the West. And the United States did everything on earth to push them away. And so it has never made any sense whatsoever, because Russia as an ally is a million times better than Russia as an adversary, particularly when you think about China and what else is going on in the world.
So why did they do that? Because they joined Germany in the first place?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, other than I think there's a lot of people in the United States, particularly those people that influence politics, that had bad family history under the czars in the pogroms of the 19th century.
Well,
I think that there was a lot of, if there's a way that we can get even, we're going to try to get even.
Well, my people came from there, and my grandfather came over as a young man, and the town Ackerman that he was in, it was a suburb of Odessa.
Mm-hmm.
They killed about 800 Jews, threw them in the river. So he made it out of there, and otherwise I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
Yeah, no. So I think there's a lot of that. I think there's a lot of generational animosity. I think that's one of the things.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, and
that
I mean,
could be.
Maybe justifiably so. But I think once again to base the fate of the world on ethnic disputes that go back 130 years,
sure,
is maybe not the best policy.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
now the TSA, I don't know if this ever happened to you. They put Tulsi Gabbard in hell as they subjected them on the Quiet Skies watch list.
Yeah.
For criticizing, in her case, it was Kamala, Federal Air Marshal's wife, was crippled, was harassed, and turned away from her flight, and also people in the Republican Congress. And now you've got Senator Rand Paul wants to try all these people that were responsible for this, including Biden's cabinet and anyone that worked this, the DOJ under Biden, things like that. What do you think of this?
Well, I can tell you that with regard to the hundreds of people I represent that were J6 political prisoners, even people that were charged with no more than misdemeanor trespass, were all put on the Quiet Skies Quad S list. And you got to envision this. Let's say you were near but never entered into the Capitol building on January 6th of 2021. You step foot on some place that the government retroactively will declare to be restricted property. You get surveilled for months. Your house gets attacked by 35 SWAT officers with a Bearcat in their front yard and helicopters swirling overhead to get arrested, hauled out in your underwear, and your whole family hauled out under machine guns in the middle of winter. And then you get on the Quad S list. So now you're trying to fly someplace.
Yeah.
And you go up to TSA and they haul you, your spouse, your minor children aside, do full body searches.
Right.
And that happens 4 times between TSA and when you get on the airplane, mostly meaning that you never get on the airplane because now it's gone long before any of this happens. And so, it was specifically designed to harass and intimidate. All these people were put on the terrorist watch list, like they're Osama bin Laden, even when the only charges against them were misdemeanor trespass. And it really was the basis of all this was thought crime, that they adhered to the wrong political philosophy, just like Tulsi Gabbard and other Republicans.
Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat at that time.
Yeah, Democrat Congresswoman from Hawaii, and yet nonetheless she said the wrong words. She held the wrong political philosophy, and I got to tell you that as much as I like Donald Trump, we're doing the same thing now. Pam Bondi 2 weeks ago said she wanted to criminally prosecute people that protested against Donald Trump for hate speech. Well, you can't have. Yeah. And then Todd Blanche, the assistant AG, went on the next day and said that he wanted to criminally prosecute people.
Well, if you're out there threatening the life of the president, I could understand that.
That I agree with, but this was not that direct. I mean, this was just people that were out there espousing.
We hate Trump. So what?
Yeah,
really.
I mean, we're all supposed to have the right to hate any politician we want to, and God knows a lot of people hate me. But But I think that our Constitution and our freedom demands that unless people are actually inciting violence or being violent, that they have the right to say whatever they damn well please.
So is this happened a lot in America? I suppose it has. This kind of branding and then punishing because you have the political power to do it.
Think about the Japanese during World War II,
Yeah.
Japanese Americans.
Right.
And of course, President Lincoln, the first Republican president, he suspended the Constitution, suspended habeas corpus, put you in prison for the manner of your speech. So it has been employed throughout our history. But it goes all the way back to the very beginning. They had this Alien and Sedition Act back at the turn of the 19th century. When President Jefferson retired from his second term in office, he would not use the U.S. Postal Service. He would only send messages by messenger, by foot,
Really?
because he was afraid that the post office would intercept his messages and he would go to prison as a seditionist.
Well, doesn't it go back to the Bible, Cain and Abel?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always it's something that's fairly common. Wars are common all over the place. I know you hate unnecessary wars. I don't know what you think about wars that are necessary. I'm sure that you would agree that the United States had a right to go to war with Japan, and it was Japan first, I think, and then Germany joined in.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Well, human conflict is as old as humanity, as you've raised
Exactly.
the issue of Cain and Abel, right?
Yeah.
The God of the Old Testament was a God that violently exercised judgment upon evildoers. I mean, look at the flood, for example. I mean, that history and the Bible is replete with great acts of violence against evildoers or people that are on the wrong side of issues.
Mm-hmm.
And going on my political platform here for just a second, the reason why the early Christian church became instantly very popular, because they were the exact opposite. They actually preached in those days and acted with complete selflessness. That if you had one coat and there was a man with none at your front door, you'd take off yours and give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
First time in the history of the world where actual altruism was practiced. Ain't so much the case these days.
Well, no, and of course they stood in front of the Nazi Germany, used the Catholics to claim that he was doing the bidding of the Catholics when he killed Jews.
The German belt buckles in World War II said "Gott mit uns," right? God with us.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Yeah, so figure.
Yeah, go figure, and that brings you back to, well, I mean, isn't it worth? Here, put that sign back on the Gaza thing, but isn't that worth? Oh, you can't see it, right?
No, I can't see.
Oh, never mind.
I'm audio only today. I'm blind.
You're blind, and we're blinded to not having you on the show. But I love him. I'll talk to you anytime. You know that. I'll talk to you anytime. Whether wherever I'm at, I might talk to you.
I brought my laptop home today to do this show from my house, and I use it here all the time.
Yeah.
I do broadcasts from the same room all the time. And today it wants me to stick in my stinking passwords, and I don't have my passwords memorized, and I don't have my cheat sheet at the house. And so I'm a disembodied voice.
Yeah, well, I wonder if that's a form of this quiet skies watch list.
Well, back in the day, other lawyers, when we'd be traveling out of town in lawsuits, would always say, "Never get in the TSA line behind McCloskey," because I would always get what I described as a full butt sniffing.
Oh my God! So you were that popular, were you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Gee.
I used to carry a laminated copy of the Fourth Amendment with me.
Yeah.
And every time I'd go up and they'd start the butt sniffing process, I always pull out my laminated copy of the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah.
And they'd always call over the chief of their department. He'd look at it, take it, drop it in the trash can like a dead mouse.
Oh, yeah. Well, you have to recognize there's certain things that happen that we don't like, and either you're going to fight back like you've done, and I think I'm doing, but not physically. That will help matters in the future, help matters for our children and grandchildren,
Yeah,
and our
and that's
wives, and our
well, 250 years ago, last March 23rd, a young man stood up in Richmond, Virginia, and said, "I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death." And that's why we
Yeah.
have this great nation, because young men, were really willing to stand up and say, "I don't care if it kills me. I'm going to forge this new nation."
Yeah, and back then, the Constitution actually had a lot of young people writing it and helping with the writing of the Constitution. Wasn't that true?
I think Jefferson was something like 34 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even younger than that, I thought.
He wouldn't be old enough to be president when he wrote the Constitution.
Well, all right. So, these quiet skies now are being questioned by Senator Rand Paul. He wants an investigation of everyone who approved this, and they must be fired. Is that enough punishment?
I think some people need to, I'll digress and say this. When they issued an indictment against James Comey last week,
Yeah.
I immediately tweeted out, how come there weren't 35 FBI agents in full combat gear smashing in his front door with frogmen and helicopters and everything else, and haul him immediately to jail in his underpants the way they treated us? I mean, why does he get to turn himself in? I don't think that just getting fired is enough. I think the people that intentionally violated people's constitutional rights, I think Harmeet Dillon and the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department should bring criminal charges against these people for their intentional violation of people's constitutional rights.
Yeah, she's real good, isn't she? She's a good lawyer.
Yeah. And I'll say something else,
Go ahead.
other concept. When you were talking about necessary wars, I was hearing this morning on Fox, I was watching the coverage on the government shutdown, right? And they're talking about how only necessary employees are at work.
Yeah.
Well, why the hell does the government have unnecessary employees, right?
Well, that's what Trump is. He is now marginalizing that by saying we're going to get rid of all these things. Maybe the IRS is going to get. He's going to get rid of. What was it like? 800,000 more agents who are armed.
Yeah, that's what we need is armed IRS agents.
88,000. Yeah.
The U.S. mail has got armed agents now. The government has, and this is old news now, but when I was running for Senate, it's when it first started, that the government was buying up all the 9mm ammunition, and every agency from forestry to the FBI wanted more guns and more ammunition.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they were staging for some kind of a, general insurrection.
A coup.
Yeah.
So a Syrian Englishman crashes his car through the front of a synagogue on Yom Kippur. He attacks with a knife. I think it was two of them, and they eventually killed these guys in England, no less. And so that's. Should the Jews have a way to protect themselves in other countries where they don't have any government to back them up?
Well, I will spin it the other direction. That is, I live in the city of St. Louis. Every night, lots of people get killed with guns.
Yes.
Every day, people run stoplights and run over people. My one recently, there's a carload of young men that ran a stop sign, ran into another car full of young men, knocked it off the bridge at Grand and Highway 40, lands upside down on Highway 40, killing everybody in the other car.
Jeez.
Daily occurrence in St. Louis.
Yeah.
But my house in St. Louis backs right up to the new Reformed congregation, and for the high holy days, they have a big crowd. But they also have police protection and a police camera set up in their parking lot. So everybody is hypersensitive about anti-Semitism as well we should be. But the biggest problem in this country is really black on black violence in the big cities.
Yeah,
because that's where the real toll is, real death toll is.
And how is Trump doing on that? It seems like he's doing pretty good on it.
Well, he's certainly sending in the National Guard.
Yeah.
But, as we discussed last week, my 18-year-old to 25-year-old self would have been pretty upset with the concept of the federal government sending the army into cities.
Yeah, well, you know what? He's going to save a lot of black lives.
He is, and they're going to give him. And nonetheless, he's still going to be called a racist by the left.
Yeah, but he got he got a big amount of young people to vote for him, and a big amount of blacks to vote for him too. Much bigger than he expected.
Oh yeah, they don't want to be murdered. I mean, no. Of
course
a book
not.
will tell you no matter what your skin color is, and they don't want to be murdered any more than anybody else. And they would love to have a safe and prosperous environment in which to live and raise their kids, just like we all do.
I mean, I'm from the south side of Chicago. My dad had liquor stores there, and it's been pretty common since the 60s, the early 60s, that blacks were killing each other, and it hasn't stopped. And it's like, what, 70 years now, roughly?
Yeah,
it's incredible. All right, listen, I gotta go. I got my next guest on. Unless you want to hang on.
No, unfortunately, I cannot. Even though I'm just a disembodied voice, I'm a busy disembodied voice.
Well, yeah, disembodied or not, it's always nice to talk to you, and I miss your wife. Wish she could talk to, because 2 lawyers at one time. Wow, it's cool.
Yeah, we love to double bill.
I know. Well, speaking of that, where can people find you and be hosed? I mean, hire you. Come on.
Yeah.
What do you know from funny, you bastard?
You went over the good line there. All right, go ahead. Say it again. Where can they find you?
McCloskeylaw.com, McCloskeylaw.com, 314-721-4000. I'm on X at McCloskey USA, and on Rumble, you can still catch all my podcasts for the last 2 years, although I'm no longer creating new ones until I get done with this January 6th project.
Cemetery worker pickup line. I really dig you. We can't see you, so we got to do the other thing too.
That's a pretty cold comment.
All right, now I got my next guest. Yes, okay. Say I said hello to your wife, and pleasure talking to you as always, and we'll do it again sometime.
All right, take care, Dave.
Yeah, you too. Thanks. Bye, Mark. Okay, my next guests are here, and I say guests because there's 2 of them. Just Division I football player, basketball ref, politician, expert on RFK, and now an owner of pharmacies. Please welcome 1-6er Jeff Zink and his wife, Stephanie. Why did you step on Stephanie? It's Stephanie. I didn't say step it up. Stephanie. Hi.
Right.
Sorry about that.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks. So Tylenol, pregnant women, Trump and Pfizer make a deal to drop prices and match Europe. What effect, first of all, does this have on you? And is this a good idea, bad idea, what?
I think it's a great idea. I think the disclosures coming out about Tylenol are par for the course with most of the pharmaceutical that people take. I think everybody should start reading the labels and doing their own research and find out what's in the drugs that they're taking, because all too often, and this isn't on the doctors at all, we have to take responsibility for ourselves. But the doctors are told that these things are safe, and we've been conditioned to believe that. And I think a lot of people are waking up going, wait a second, I should be doing this, or why is this happening? So are some of these things contributing to the chronic illness that Americans are facing?
The about 2018 or 19, Pfizer came out with a statement saying, don't give this to women who are not in labor, but who are pregnant. Do not give this to them. So what's the argument about? I mean, why is everybody uptight about this not being a good thing to give to pregnant women.
Well, if you look at the way that the chemistry is now put together, it really is concerning. When you use oil-based products that and try to engineer chemically the same thing that is done in the world in plant-based stuff. Remember, God has given us everything on this earth that we need to take care of ourselves, and there's a lot of medicines in plants. Well, a cheaper version, or what they say is a cheaper version, is to try to engineer the same thing. The only problem is you have what is called a doppelganger, something that is extra. And that extra is what causes the side effects from those drugs that are given to us. And if you think about this, out of a 30-second commercial, 11 seconds is designated to the side effects that you may endure, where loss of hair, loss of appetite, diarrhea. I mean, all of these things are all side effects and things. And then there's a small thing called death that they also kind of slip in there as well. And these are the things that are taking place. The other problem is that the pharmaceutical companies, the lobbyists, went to every senator and congressman, and over 20 or 30 years ago, they got it passed that the pharmaceutical companies cannot be held responsible for anything that happens, those side effects, or if somebody dies, they can't be held liable. And Congress passed it. So we need to go back to the congressman and say, you need to undo this and make the pharmaceutical companies on the hook for what they do, so they'll be more careful.
Is this for the COVID vaccines as well?
Well, that's part of it, yes. But I mean, it was many years before that.
It was during Reagan.
Yeah, during Reagan
So they started this, and it's just multiplied apparently, and it's gone crazy in the last years.
Right.
So the pharmaceutical companies, when they develop a vaccine, it's not held to the same critical standards that a regular drug is going to be held to, or something that's developed. And as a result, there aren't the same protocols and precautions put in place. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the side effects of, people getting sick.
Die earlier, babies not being born alive, and things like that. And it makes me wonder, where are the doctors on this? Where are the politicians? Where are the companies themselves? Pfizer now he's coming to partner up with the president, but where was he when they actually issued an order that they did not have to report anything about their products in giving COVID medicines to people?
I think every single person needs to call their congressman and their senator and their governor and ask them, why were they and their family and their staff exempt from the COVID vaccine mandates? Why? And were they aware that there could be a problem? And if so, why didn't they stand up for the American people?
Yeah. And what about the doctors? You left out very, very important essence. The doctors were the ones that were recommending you for this. And how responsible?
Part of that. So when you look at the doctor's end of this, they have drug reps that come in to their office, and they literally give them kickbacks for more scripts that they write for that. So there's an incentive for the doctor to do that. In the COVID aspect, one of the things that happened was the AMA started making false statements and allegations in regards to how much of a benefit that you can get from the COVID vaccine, which we know is now a lie. But the thing is that you had the licensing board going after the medical doctors that were going against the protocols of what they were trying to establish. And so, in that aspect, they were stripping them of over their medical license. They stripped them of that, so they can't even practice medicine. So there was a threat of their livelihood of never being able to practice medicine ever again, just because they didn't follow the status quo of what the pharmaceutical companies put together.
Well, it comes down to, are we going to have a bunch of lawsuits for murder? Are people like what was his name? The guy starts with an F.
Fauci.
Fauci. Yeah, I
Fauci
mean,
and Marx.
for mass murder. I mean, this guy came up in 2017 and said we're going to have a pandemic.
Well,
He
it
said
actually stems. It stems
He knew it.
before that. Anthony Fauci was one of the foremost leading authorities in AIDS research, and he literally did the same thing to a lot of the AIDS patients and killing them because they were utilizing drugs that, in the name of trying to save them, and so he went through that. And the thing that I always ask is this: if COVID, SARS, HIV, if all of these are natural recurring things in nature, then why is it that you can go to the patent office and find that they've been patented?
Yeah. Tracy Edens, my doctor said to not take Tylenol. This is all in big letters, by the way. When I was pregnant, I remember that and didn't take it. And hopefully that was in 1995. And hopefully everybody survived and are doing well. I never complied to their slavery. And that's
Right.
about what it was.
Yeah.
I remember my doctor after we had it in my early 70s. My wife was probably about 30, and I said to the doctor, I says, we got this thing. He says, all right, well, when you're done, you got to come in and get your shot. I said, what are you talking about? I says, doesn't it have antibodies? He says, well, I don't know anything about that, but you got to come in and get your shot. I says, well, did you read the VAERS report? He said, I don't know what that is. I read I read the New England Journal of Medicine every week, and every month, whenever it comes out, and I didn't see anything like that. So after we hung up, I went and looked at the VAERS report, and I linked it to the New England Journal of Medicine, and found out that yes, it was in there. So here's a guy telling me he reads the whole New England Journal of Medicine thing, and he forgets to look at something that is he's giving me advice. He's ordering me to take this shot, which he knows is deadly if he's reading that. I called him up and I says, I told him that. Oh yeah, I guess you're right. I says, yeah, and you're fired. I've been with this doctor for 25 years. And I still don't regret it, and I'm pissed off.
Well, one of the things too is that if you take the box, okay, so the vials are really small, and the boxes that comes in there, but there's an insert. If you take the vial out, set it down, pull the insert out, and you open the insert, it was completely blank on both sides. And that was one of the reasons why my family that are MDs, they basically said, we're not giving this vaccine because we don't know what's in it and we don't know what the side effects are, and y'all haven't provided any information. We don't know the chemical makeup, and so therefore this blank insert, we won't provide that. And that was in every vial that was sent out during that the very first time that it was sent out to all of the doctors all over the country.
Yeah. Who doesn't, I mean, I live in a community, and obviously I know some people, and I've been finding out that a lot of people died who I knew or were related to either my wife or to me or to my daughter-in-law. A lot of people died because of it. Even the butcher at the Kroger's, okay, died. And I'm saying, this is unusual. This has to be unusual. There has to be something here. This has to be happening all over the country, maybe all over the world. And I was right.
Correct.
And it's shameful. It's mass murder, is what it is. It's mass murder for profit.
I think history will portray this as a mass extinction event brought on by human actors. I don't, because I have the same thing that you have. My entire family took it, and then it was only because of my constant harassing my mother that she never got any of the boosters, but everybody else did. And I'm terrified. They're getting sick.
Yeah.
They're having, they're starting to have issues, and there's nothing you can do. And they still don't want to listen to you. You're a conspiracy theorist.
Well, yeah, but it's one thing to have a conspiracy, but when they come true, you got to admit it. Bill
Yeah,
Gates.
but these people are
Here's
still
another reason.
watching mainstream media, so it's
Yeah. Well, here's another reason that this was done. You have geniuses out there like Bill Gates, who said that back in 1798, I believe it was, that we had too much population. That was the big deal over there. I forget what it was called, but
Yeah, it's on TED Talks.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's
Say that
on
again.
TED Talks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we needed to eliminate a bunch of the population. And this is what he's out there with these farms. He's shooting up beef and animals that are going to be consumed by humans, and he's contributing to the death toll. He should be held responsible for this.
Correct. Well, and this is one of the things people need to understand something. The World Health Organization, the WHO, and the global elitists and stuff have already taken over most of our world. So you have, and America only has 4% of the global population. And the thing is that they are going after the very freedoms of what we have been provided by our founding fathers. And the thing is that they have made laws in our country where if you're convicted of a felony, that you cannot vote for the rest of your life. They have people that they created politics so bad that nobody wants to talk about it or do anything about it. So they've eliminated another third. So literally the whole world is on about 2.5% of the world's population. The patriots, the people that are fighting all of this, that's the reason why you're going against 97, 98% of the world population. You're going against all of it and stuff. So this is the reason why it sounds so difficult. And the problem is, and people think that their elected officials are representing them. They're nuts. They're not.
Rolling in
You
dough.
go look at
Money they get. They're rolling in dough, most of them, from the money
exactly.
they get
And
from the fighters of the world.
Yeah, this is part of, asking your public officials, did you stand up against the vaccine mandate? Did your legislative council tell you that these mandates were unconstitutional and you still voted for them? Why? I mean, what do you think that that's doing to the American people long term, or do you not care because some pharmaceutical rep has written you a nice fat check? Because that's what is happening. So, people need to start asking questions, and that's hard because when you start, you don't even know what some of the problems are that you should be asking questions about. So, I think that a lot of people need to cut themselves some slack and just start paying attention.
Yeah,
go
that's right.
beyond the
I like to
news.
think that I've done that, and I pay
Yes.
attention. I question things, and I'm still here. I mean, I know I've been rolled over a couple times by many of the places that I'm published here. I know it's happened to me in writing and other things, but okay, whatever. I'm still protesting this because I know I'm right, and I think God wants us to do this. He wants. I don't care what the odds are. I think He wants us to do the right thing. It's like you say, what the younger people in this country, or it was McCluskey earlier. They're the ones that formed this country, and they Jefferson was 34 when they wrote the Constitution. Wasn't even old enough to be the president, and they wanted to have a free, open country, and they wanted a constitution that would be for the people, okay, and not for the government. So here we have this happening now. And the doctors have an order: do no harm. Their order, their pledge is to do no harm, not collect money and kill people. Okay, let me read the rest of Tracy is all over this right here. Can you get me Tracy from where we started? Yes, her daughter is 29 and she's healthy. And the deadly shot was mass depopulation. That was their plan all along, and he's right. Oh, well, I thought it was me, but is he often right, Stephanie?
Yeah.
Oh, I almost got you there. I tell you what. All right, now what about let's switch course a little bit here.
Okay.
Ryan and the rest of the 1-6ers, 274 FBI present at this place. Now, and
And
did
that's
you
just the
recognize some
FBI.
Ukrainians there too? Ukrainian soldiers and stuff. And that's just the FBI. What about the CIA and the DOJ and at the time the DOD, or now it's DOR?
How about the NSA? How about three-letter agencies that most people don't even know about? I mean, how
Journalists.
many? And keep in mind, these people were paid to be there, so there should be employment records for every single agency, indicating that they had been there. There are operational records. Agencies like this, you can't keep this stuff quiet because there are orders.
Well, they found it out somehow. Kash Patel found it out, and apparently it's true. I guess they had a burn room or something like that where they burn all this information. I guess they didn't get around to it. you know.
Well, the thing that I'm disappointed on in regards to what Kash Patel is doing is the fact that he's well aware of these people. Why haven't they been fired? I mean, the second that any of this happens, they should be fired and then brought up on charges immediately and have to face the same scrutiny that my family had to face, that all of the other J6ers that had to face, and imprison them and put them through a trial. The thing that we met with Stuart Rhodes.
But go to your house like they went to Ryan's house and bang his door down in the middle of the night. And I don't know if he has kids or not, but it had to be really terrible.
Well, his dogs are still traumatized.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, and they're still employed. And were they following orders? But I think people need to understand something about the oath that federal employees take.
Exactly.
Any elected official takes. They take an oath to protect the Constitution and we the people. So if you're given orders that don't fall in line with the Constitution and our rights as people of America, then you don't have to follow them. And there are a lot of FBI agents that were fired or quit and were vilified because of it. So standing up hurts.
Yeah, and you have a lot of them out there who are pro people like Comey
Mm-hmm.
and those. And Comey's getting, why didn't he get the same treatment as Ryan?
Yeah, I'd like to know that too.
Or how about Ray Epps?
Yeah.
Or you can go down an entire list of people that were treated completely different. How about Hunter Emke, who was the point of the spear and broke first penetrated the Capitol?
He was Antifa,
and
right? He's Antifa, and you have Black Lives Matter there.
Correct.
I mean, you had a whole a thing of bad passengers in that area. And if you went in there and had to go to the bathroom and then went right out, you still got in trouble. And we never went in the building. You and Ryan never went in the building. And obviously, we're talking about a political. Political arrest.
The FBI agent in charge lied to a grand jury.
Yeah.
And they know that. Prosecutors lied. Ryan's case was
Judges
kicked back by the
lied,
Court of
didn't they?
Appeals and told to deal with it. And the judge, Boasberg, dismissed it like it never existed.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to be accounted for too.
Well, and this is the problem that we have. We have and in Ryan's case, we had judicial misconduct, we had prosecutorial misconduct, we had Brady violations, we had 4 Capitol police officers, we had a federal agent all perjure themselves in a grand jury and in front of a jury during my son's trial. He was brought up on charges of entering into the Capitol, fighting with Capitol Police, and was directly responsible for killing Brian Sicknick. All of those were dropped. He was brought up on the 1512C2 and the 1517 1A and 1-2. The 1512C2 went to Supreme Court, was dropped. Then that meant that 30 years of my son's sentence was then immediately erased overnight by the Supreme Court. And yet they still wanted to imprison him for 2 years. And then you had somebody like Stuart Rhodes, and Enrique Torres, who weren't even there. That wasn't even on the Capitol grounds and everything else. But
in another state.
In another state. And they were
still in prison.
And they both got sentenced. Enrique 22 years, Stuart Rhodes for 18, and that was because they were both the leader of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, and they weren't even there. They said that they orchestrated it. They weren't. They were there to protect the American people and stuff. And this is why there's such a disparity between the narrative and the lie of this communist country that we're becoming.
We still have people in office, Republicans, that still think the J6ers that were just there to rally should be in prison.
They're called rhinos, I believe.
Yes. Well, I don't even know that that's nice. That's probably not harsh enough.
I call them a little bit different name.
Well, you can't do that.
I mean, I think that most people, while they were rallying and they got violent, there's now all this evidence coming out about how the Capitol Police lobbed smoke grenades into the middle of groups that were protecting women and children.
Yeah.
I mean, and
yeah, and the story doesn't seem to be coming out as fast as it should. Mark McCluskey is very disturbed by that, as you are, and it's a shame, and I do it willingly on this show, and they're not going to come. Well, maybe they will come arrest me someday. Who the hell knows?
Well, the problem that I keep telling people is this: if you're relying on President Trump to save our country, that's not going to happen.
Right.
It is we, the people, that need to rise up, and we need to take control of this and start taking responsibility of calling your senator and your congressman. making sure that you show up to their office, and tell them and write them constantly and email them and let them know that this is not going to be acceptable. And then the other thing is get active. Get out there, start knocking on doors, start finding out who your neighbors are, start talking to them and help them understand that what is happening right now is not what America was founded on, and that they're voting for things for like murdering children, or thinking that it's okay to arrest anybody for anything, even if it's not true. And so these are things that we're going to have to take care of. That's what our founding fathers did. They laid it at the feet of we the people, and we are lazy, we're uneducated, and we're not caring, and and we wonder why our country's going to hell in a basket.
I understand that, but a lot of people just don't want to. They don't want to get in trouble. I know plenty of people like that. All right, I got only 30 seconds left. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Okay, you guys, you're great, and I'll have you on again. But other than Dave Weinbaum Show, where can people find you?
PositiveEnergyAZ.com is our website, and you can always email me at jeff@PositiveEnergyAZ.com if you've got questions and stuff. Be more than happy to.
Okay, I don't have any more time. I got to say goodbye. I'll be back in a week. Thank you for listening.
All right, thank you.